version part of the Magnus Carlsen Invitational. This is round 7, and today all the players are playing, all 8 of the players. So that's good. The final 4 have been determined, just not the order. And I guess the order determines what the pairings are for the knockouts. I don't really know what the schedule is May 1st to 3rd. Maybe somebody can find that out for me. Are they still playing at 10 a.m. Eastern? Do the people who are 5 through 8, do they play matches too for 5 through 8, or they're just out? I'm assuming they're just out. Are they going to have one semifinal match on May 1st, one semifinal match on May 2nd, and the finals on May 3rd? Or are they going to have both semifinals May 1st and the finals is a 2-day event? I don't know. So hopefully it's at 10 a.m. still. I'll have to find out, but if somebody else can find out, that would be good. So, yeah. Yeah, this is the, what does it say, RAR? Yeah, this is the RAR with my big face on it. Yeah. Let me refresh so I can, something. You were told to watch this stream. This stream doesn't have a lot to do with chess, but if you like comedy, yeah. So yeah, I don't know what happens after today. I know there's knockout matches. I don't know if there's knockout matches for 5 through 8. I doubt it. And I don't know what the format is of the knockout matches. If there's a semifinal each day, then a final the last day, or if the 2 semifinals are tomorrow, then it's a 2-day final. I don't know. Any of the top 4 can get first, right? This part of the tournament only determines who the 4 are that go on to the final 4. Yeah, double donations, that is correct. Minecraft questions are for Holden and Archer only, not for me. Yeah. And so on. So I assume the next 3 days after today is also at 10 a.m., but I'm not sure. Yeah. So there you go. Time for a train. We have 7 minutes. Another train. Ding is playing Magnus today, which I'll put up. There's Ding and Magnus. I guess Ding's white the first game. Geary's playing Fabi. Geary's white. MVL plays Naka. MVL's white. And Nepomniachtchi plays Ferrugia. Nepomniachtchi is white. I think all the players can get first. And all the players can get second, third, or fourth. The ones that are the top 4. So, yeah, it only matters for the pairings layer. It doesn't matter for prize money. So, 101 centidues. Hooray. Yeah, and as Lexi pointed out, we had that tournament Saturday. Next Saturday in 9 days, possibly 10 days, depending on your point of view. But it's Saturday. At 4 p.m., we're going to have another tournament with more sections and a lot more prize money, about 5 times the prize money. 6 times the prize money that we had last one. And we're going to have one more section. And we expect about 4 times as many players. The flyer's coming out for that, but we'll post information everywhere, of course. That's Saturday, May 9 at 4 p.m. Yeah, there's a big difference. I made a video about the difference between online and over-the-board chess on chess.com's videos. Yeah. But there's a lot of differences, yeah, especially for the older players. Charlotte Chess Center can't wait to play. I can't wait to ban Charlotte Chess Center. I can't wait. What part of town do you work in? Our chess center is located in Roswell. But yeah, we're closed until, next year, I don't know, whenever stuff opens up. And even then we're closed. Yeah. Exactly. Go Coach Peter. Go somebody. So I guess Ding Magnus is a toss-up. Normally Magnus would be a favorite, but he's not really playing well this tournament. Fabi, I guess, is a big favorite against Geary, the way they're playing. Nakamura is a big favorite against MVL. And I guess Nepomniachtchi Farouj is a toss-up. I'll give the slight nod to Nepomniachtchi, but I don't know. So if Dingler wins his match and Naka and Caruana lose their match or lose it in Armageddon, then Dingler clear first. If Magnus wins the match and the other guys don't win their matches, he's clear first. And also, Naka and Caruana could be clear first if they win and the other ones don't. However, being first, second, third, or fourth isn't super important today. It's going to be important on May 3rd when they have the knockouts. So that's where the prize money comes in. I assume in the knockouts, 1 plays 4 and 2 plays 3. I guess. And I don't know the format of the knockouts or when it starts or anything about it. But, something. Hopefully during this stream, somebody can find the format on the internet and explain it. Thanks, Abe Froman. Good. We need one more person to either sub or give 100 centidues so we can start the train. All right. Let's see. What's Karen saying? She said something about the format of our turn. Oh, it was Mubot. The 10-minute May Chess Mayhem. Go, Mubot. Yay. We need more sponsors. Feingold missed that I misspelled Georgia. What? I didn't even see you type anything. I don't know. Nightbot's talking about my match with Eric Rosen. Yeah, after Eric Rosen lost his I Am Not a GM match, it seems like there's less interest in the match. But I'll still beat him. And then yesterday, Levy lost to, whatever his name is, Teddy Coleman. Yeah, I think that's his name. Let's see, 285 viewers, yay. All right, we should be starting in about a minute and a half, plus tax. The only matchup with the top 4 players playing each other is this one, Ding versus Carlsen, and so on. Mm-hmm. How come GM picking on IM? Because they pay me. Yeah. Yeah, I was also surprised that Coleman won. Are you going to try to cover all 4 games? I can't promise to try, but I'll try to try. 4 games is a lot. I mean, it's a lot for you guys. Yeah. Yeah, I think when I was about 11, I decided to be a Twitch streamer. I think that's what it was. Yeah. On Twitter yesterday, John Bartholomew posted that his student told him when John joined chess.com for the first time, his account, it tells you how long you've had your account. His student wasn't born yet. So John Bartholomew's been a member of chess.com since before his student was born, 2009. Chess.com existed in 2009? I guess so. Yeah. I was 11 before you were born. Do any of these matches matter regarding? No, they do not. However, they do determine the order of the top 4, which will determine the pairings for tomorrow. Although I still don't know what the format is, and nobody has come on the stream and told me what the format is. So it's knockout matches, but I don't know what happens. Yeah, they move on. So do I think Carlsen will beat Caruana? No, because Carlsen's playing Ding. I'm sure he won't beat Caruana. And Giri's playing Caruana. Yeah. Is everyone playing today? That is correct. I guess Bender. You once said those players don't care about the money. That is correct. They want to win. Somebody made a move. I don't know what board. This board. All right, MVL and Hikaru started first. They win. It's a Traumpowski. Do the current points apply in the final knockout? They do not, but it determines who you play. Yeah. All right, so we don't see the Traumpowski a lot at the top level. See it occasionally, not too often. I don't think the other games have started yet. No moves, no moves, no. Oh, here we go. E4. Confusing Fallujah. All right. Fallujah played the Carol Khan. Khan. Nakamura won a nice game in 2010 or 11 at Vaikanze, Tata Steel against Nepomniachtchi when Naka was black. That was a nice game. All right, so we have a closed, kind of position. Markin 123 or something. Subscribe. Thank you. No trains yet. And then we have the advanced variation, which is what everybody plays against the Carol Khan. For those of you who are confused, this is what happened. All right. And Carlsen played once again the center game, and he transposed into like a bad Scandinavian. All right, so he's already losing, but I guess he can fight back. All right, so Carlsen's trying to play unusually to not give away his preparation for slow chess, and just to have fun because it's a rapid tournament. But obviously, this is losing for black. So. And this looks like a reversed Neidorf. Or Scheveningen. Yeah. All right. So it's a Sicilian reversed. Very suspicious. And Ding doesn't know this line because it's really bad for black. So he's confused. And let's see. What do these guys do? MVL and Hikaru. D5, D6. All right. Yeah, this line is not very good for black. Not the way to refute the what's the name of this opening? Trompowsky. All right, and then let's see what happened here. E6, knight E7. Usually he plays knight D7. Yep. Fallujah's had this before this tournament. I think against Geary. All right. Yeah, usually the super GMs like the advanced variation for white, so the Carol Khan isn't as popular as it once was. But I play it sometimes. All right, Dinglerin played the sharp variation, bishop b5, castles. He messed up the pawn structure, put it in H. And basically, Carlsen's playing the way I would if I was playing a 1-minute game. Bishop e3. Black doesn't have good development. King is a little exposed. Pawn structure is not good. But it's sort of double-edged and weird. So, he wants to mess up white's pawn structure also. So white's only a little bit better. And this just looks like a Sicilian with colors reversed, where the bishop is here for some reason. And this doesn't look good for Hikaru. This looks like white's slightly better, which shouldn't be the case in the Trompowsky. This looks like the most normal game. Looks like black gained a lot of space on the queen side. Usually white plays a4 first, so that white can play on both sides of the board. So this looks like a pretty reasonable way for black to play. Yeah, put the knight on c6, bishop e7. And it's a French defense with the bishop not terrible. Bishop's very reasonable here. All right, lots of games, lots of action. Magnus played knight f6, queen e2. He wants to castle queen side. He wants to play queen a6 check. Bishop takes f3. Yeah, I would definitely take with the pawn because I think black's king is less safe than white's king. Yeah, I mean, the king looks pretty safe here. This king always looks exposed. E6. And after castles, obviously, white's better. Both have terrible pawn structures, but white has a safer king. Okay. I can't believe, I'm not even kidding, the engine's first move is king d7. What world do I live in? What? Okay. What? In Vegas, about 10 years ago-ish, I played Jesse Cry, and it was a book position I didn't know in a Sicilian, and I castled a queenside, which was horrible. And then I regretted it, so I played king d7 and walked my king over to the king side later. Later I was equal, but I lost. Obviously, I was losing when I moved my king over, but I changed my mind right after I did it. All right, the engine's not too happy about that because white can get a rook lift over here and start attacking. Yeah. So the engine likes white quite a bit because this king isn't very good. All right, this looks like a typical Sicilian, except colors are reversed. And let's see what happened in this game. Hikaru traded off his white squared bishop for the knight. I agree with that. All right, and just a nice position for white. White has more space in the center. White has two bishops vatals. So very nice play by MVL so far. And this game got crazy fast. Bishop b5. I played queen a5, allowing his king to go to d7, which is exactly what happened. All right. dc5, white wants to open the center up with the black king on d7. And black has the two bishops. And unfortunately, his king's on d7. So, yeah. Probably better for white since you don't want your king on d7. Although the engine wants Magnus to play king d7. So the players are playing a little fast and loose today. It's rapid chess. The final four is already determined. It's not rated. So, Magnus castle queenside. Ferrugia play king d7. You know how it is. All right, so after rook g1, Magnus didn't want to face rook g5. So he played h6. Engine approved. But unlike Dominique, Dinglerin has two rooks. So he's got two rooks that can go to attack this king. And the engine says white has a very nice position because if this bishop moves, the g-pawn's hanging, and we're just going to attack this king. We're going to try to get our pieces over there. And both sides have, really bad pawn structures. So I think king safety is going to be more important than the pawn structure of this game. All right, this looks like just the typical Sicilian, except colors are reversed. Giri's trying to play knight c5, and Fabiano says, no. And he somehow got his knight all the way. Did he play knight b6? Is that what happened? Let's go back. Knight b6, and then knight d7. Okay, that makes sense. d4, opening the center. Good. All right, so the game's going to become very interesting. The engine says it's about equal. Magnus' position's really bad. Naka's trapping his own queen. Okay, sometimes you gotta trap your own queen. I mean, sometimes you have to. What are you gonna do? All right, now Naka didn't take this pawn because in the worst case scenario, I can move my bishop, and then take here, and maybe there's a better case scenario which wins, like bishop b5, bishop g4 might win. Yeah, maybe. So, okay, the taking here is sort of crazy. So b5. I wore the correct shirt today. Roar! I didn't wear the never play f3 shirt, so he played f3, which is not an engine favorite. The engine doesn't like f3 very much, although I do like the connect 4. So, all right. So if Naka doesn't lose his queen, he'll be sitting pretty. Probably won't lose his queen. He'll probably be fine. Can even trade queens now with queen here check. And in this game, after king takes d7, queen b5, knight d4. Black wants to trade queens because his king's on d7. And the engine says, no. Every engine move is not trading queens. Queen here, queen here, queen here. No trading queens. Got to attack that king. The engine particularly likes queen g4 for some reason. And then after h5, queen h3. All right, it's not what I would do. And let's see, Magnus played rook g8, so his bishop can move safely and not lose the g-pawn. Yeah. Very bad position for him. The engine wants to play knight e4, and says white's winning. I assume after takes, we play rook b3 check and queen a6. So it doesn't take. But yeah, this 2.5 for white. Knight e4 is just winning, it says. Also, knight e4 threatens knight takes knight, which the g-pawn's pinned. So if ding goes here, you can't take, because rook b3, king c8, queen a6, king d7 takes, and white's straightened out his pawn structure. This king is absolutely ridiculous. This pawn's gone. I mean, this is ridiculous. It's completely winning for white. So Magnus is probably losing already if ding finds knight e4. And he just played knight e4. All right, the engine's saying like +2, +2.5, because that king is ridiculous. So it's, when you're playing somebody like my strength, or maybe up to 100 points higher, so like 2,500 to 2,600 FIDE, then you can fool around like Magnus is doing. Fooling around against Ding, I don't know. Ding's a tough guy to fool around against. So Magnus is playing sort of silly opening because, it doesn't matter very much. And then, he might lose again. So Magnus has escaped some lost positions. But, if you get 10 lost positions, you might lose 5 or 6 of them. So, all right. I guess Magnus needs Ice-T as his coach. That way he can care again. Okay, after f3, Hikaru played knight b6, putting pressure on a4 and knight c4. a5, knight c4, obviously. The engine does not like a5, but MVL wants to trap Hikaru's queen. So MVL's like, if I trap your queen, I'll win. Hooray. All right, takes, queen takes, b3, queen b4, not even trading queens with queen d4 check. And they traded queens. e6. Yeah, and black's fine here. He didn't get his queen trapped. He got his 2 bishops back. He has a lot of space. Yeah, this is fine for black. Yeah. It's about equal. Rook's pretty stupid. Okay, so that all worked out for Hikaru. MVL couldn't figure out any way to trap the queen or take advantage of it. And Nepomniachtchi played queen c1, knight c6, rook d1. Everybody's trapping their queen today, but nobody's losing their queen. Everybody's talking at me, but nobody's saying a thing. All right, looks better for white because the black king's on d7. And Anish Giri versus Fabi. Anish played d4 the last we looked. And they traded on d4. Queen f6. Has some nice squares for his knights. They traded queens, so Anish Giri is happy. Never play f6. And white's better because I got this. This is weak because he played f6. So this is better for white. Bishop f3. Yeah, white's got a lot of possible action here, and black is very passive, obviously. Generally, in this structure, white, I say white because it's usually white in the Sicilian, but it's black, doesn't want to trade queens. So this is advantageous to Giri. So good position for Anish. And he did play knight e4. Good. And Magnus played bishop e7, which the engine says is forced. And now we can force the king over here. Probably not the best square. By playing rook b3 check. And queen a6 check, and so forth. Yeah, one idea for white after rook check and queen check is to get the knight to e5. So the engine's like knight d2, knight c4, knight e5 check is one idea. Also, knight d2 defends the f3 pawn, and it prevents black from trading pieces. Magnus wants to trade all the pieces. That his king won't be so bad. Yeah. I'm getting a text. I can feel it in my pocket. It's from the ghost of Tom Petty. And it says, Magnus, you're so bad. The worst world champion we ever had. And a world gone mad. Wow. That's a pretty good text for a ghost. Chess 24 has the round time tomorrow at 10. Good. All right. Go Tom Petty. Back from the dead. 100 centidues. Wake up. Hooray. Thanks for the centidues. That's right. Magnus wants to show his true strength. All right. Magnus bet on Ding. All right. Back to whatever it is I was doing. Takes. Knight f2 is pretty meek. Wow, white's playing really passively. c4 is explosive. All right, so MVL's decided to try to block up the position and draw, but that's a pretty passive approach. I've never seen MVL play so passively. Man, harsh. So big advantage to Naka, because these pawns are on the wrong squares, and black has more space in the center and queen side, and these pieces are pathetic. Yeah. So very good position for Naka. Naka's outplaying him. And then after rook d1, he played queen c4, f4, making sure he could ever play f3. Bishop c5, f5, rawr, f5. All right, so very aggressive play against this king. Bishop takes d4, trying to trade pieces. And bishop takes d4, engine approved. And it says black is okay, but white's better. Much better for white because king's no good. Yeah, good position for white. Black's trying to block it up and draw. I think the engine doesn't like queen f4. I wanted to play queen e3. I like queen f4. So, yeah, this seems like really very risky for black with his king on d7. Okay, and after knight h4, he played knight e7. That's a very cool configuration, defending his g6 pawn. See, and this is why Anish has trouble winning when he has the advantage. Instead of playing incisively, he plays boring when he has a big advantage. Then it becomes equal. So here, instead of doing something aggressive, the engine says bishop d2, which opens up the rook. Bishop d3, which opens up the rook and attacks this pawn. f4, which is an aggressive move. He plays h3. What? Why would you play knight h4, then play h3? What's h3 got to do with knight h4? Just so I'm getting a text from Tina Turner. What's h3 got to do with it? What's h3 but a passive Anish Giri move? Unusual text. Okay, and Tina Turner's alive. All right, so g5 was played. Well, I'm getting a text. It says, get out the way. Move, move. I don't know who that's from. Okay, knight f3, always retreat. Bishop d5. Knight c3. Knight b6. And white's still better because white's going to get the two bishops. But, I think black has escaped the worst. Solid, boring play from Fabi. Not too great. All right, let's see if Magnus has resigned yet. Not yet. Check, queen check. And the engine, I think, even suggests d5 here. Yeah, opening up to the king. Or knight d2, so we can go here. And Ding played another good move. Also good. Rook to d1. d5 is actually a typical move for white in the Scandi, although you would expect with these both of these pawns here and the queen and the knight that it wouldn't be good, but yeah. All right, rook d1 is a fine move. We're getting, So we have a lot of kings on d7 this round. Very suspicious. All right, so this position obviously really bad for black. Magnus has to defend. And looks like MVL's losing. He gave up his queen side. They made a lot of moves since we last looked. Okay, so bishop e3, knight c6, bishop b6. And then Hikaru played the excellent d4, destroying the pawn structure here. Very good move. Okay, now Hikaru has two passed pawns. Always repeat. And then he repeated and played rook c8. Yeah, very good position for black. You would expect MVL to have black here because it looks like a Grunfeld. White has this pawn center and black has a bishop here. But no. All right. These pawns are pretty dangerous. These pawns are not. Those pawns are blocked. So very, very bad position for MVL because these two pawns look like they're going to win the game later. So I mean, white doesn't really have anything to do except stop these 2 pawns. All his pawns are blocked. So very good play by Hikaru. And I expect he should win with these 2 pawns and his great knight on d5. And white having very little counterplay. White just has to defend now. All right, and Nepomniachtchi's opening it up. After queen f4, Firouzja played knight e7, defending the pawn. Nepomniachtchi wants to open up the b file, and he did. Doubling up on the bubble up. And very bad position for black. King's on d7, and white's ready to attack. The engine likes a4, opening up the queen side. Queen g3 threatens g7. Rook b4 kicks the queen away. Giri would play h3, making his king safe, but he's not playing this game. And let's go back. Whoa, that wasn't what I wanted to do. I wanted to do this. Takes. Right, and white's just playing passively and doing nothing, giving all of his advantage away. Giri style. All right. So white's better because white has 2 bishops, but black is incredibly solid here. So no reason black should expect to lose this. This is probably a draw now. Yeah, and the engine says all zeros. By playing h3, g3, king g2, bishop d2, white gave all of his advantage away instead of pressing like Nepomniachtchi is doing. All right, Magnus is taking some pawns for his troubles. He's like, well, I'm getting mate. I might as well be 2 pawns up. So he took on f3. Knight d2 is the engine move with the idea that I was talking about before. Queen takes h3 is suicidal. And the engine says, like, the game's over. It says every move wins for white. Bishop f4, attacking the queen, and then this pawn, and then you get mated. Knight here and knight here. Knight here and knight here. And rook b7's good. Everything wins. I mean, this was his idea, I think, when he played knight d2, so he'll probably follow up with that. So Magnus said, if I'm going to lose, I might as well be 2 pawns up. Okay, so knight c4 was played. Magnus played king e8, setting up for the next game. And the engine says every move wins. For some reason, bishop f4 is the best move, attacking the queen, and bishop takes c7. Man, bishop takes c7 looks pretty good. But he played knight e5, which is also winning. All right, and this isn't Magnus. I don't know who's playing black here. Maybe it's Carlsen and he let his dad or his sister play. I don't know. Yeah, he's just getting crushed. That's the safest king ever. All these pawns are weak. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I don't know. I mean, this week Carlsen's not playing well. All right, let's go back here. Never going back. This is the last position we saw. Traded bishops. Took with a pawn. That surprises me. Is that the engine move taken with a pawn? No. Yeah, the engine's just doing this with knight takes and pawn takes. All right, I guess they're both bad. All right. Yeah, this looks very, very bad for white. Okay, knight b4 is a blunder, letting the rook come in, and then the engine actually says white's fine. So Nakamura played like a model game up to here, and then white can't do anything, and then he blundered with knight b4, letting the rook come in here. And then with all this counterplay, the engine says white's fine. It really hates the move knight b4. Oh, well, all that work, and then he's not better anymore. And Nepo did play a4. Pomniachtchi's playing a really good game. Rook a8. I barely understand queen f3. Queen f3? I don't know why he played queen f3. That was terrible. I don't understand that move. Why is the queen on f3? This knight's defending both pawns. Now, queen g3 makes sense because you're attacking the g pawn. I don't understand queen f3. I guess after queen f3, I can move my bishop because the bishop was pinned. But g3 would be better because you're attacking this. Yeah, the engine says that Nepo gave all his advantage away with queen f3. It's like +2. I don't understand queen f3, to be honest with you. All right. And for the first time in his life, he made an aggressive move, h4. Go, Giri, I guess. Giri's got two bishops. He doubled on the e-file. He's playing h4. Finally, he's getting it done. Nice advantage to Giri. And Magnus didn't resign yet. Very insulting. Man, the truth hurts. Well, Magnus did a good job setting up for the next game. If he plays bishop f8, rook h8, knight g8, I will applaud him. Yeah, the engine says queen here resigns. So, I mean, the position is ridiculous for black. d5 is good. Bishop here is good. Everything's good. Don't understand bishop d2 attacks the queen, I guess, but I don't see why you would go there. I mean, this just seems really obvious to play queen here. He did. Okay, the knight e5 check is completely winning. Basically, Dingler in plays the engine move every move. Queen b7. He defends the rook. Knight e5 check. Don't want to open this up, so he played king e7. And bishop, every move wins. It doesn't matter what he does. Yeah. Now he's threatening the queen, and he wants to play knight check, and bishop takes d6. So he might resign here. It's possible. Yeah, Magnus might resign here. The positions, I never in all my years. Yeah. I mean, just terrible game for Magnus. All right, and yeah, Hikaru threw all of his advantage away. He played in this position. He played knight b4. And then after king e3, he should go back to d5 and get that good position again. But he played here, allowing an exchange sacrifice. And white has here. It's a very strange game from Hikaru. That's such an obvious exchange sacrifice where black's given away almost all his advantage. Like the engine likes black here, but I like white. So knight's on d6, pawn's on c5, my king is good. All right. And the engine says black is better, but I don't believe it. Now it says it's equal. Yeah, this was knight here was bad and knight here was bad. Naka just played badly after he was winning. Just like Nepomniachtchi did. That was very strange what Naka did. He had these nice two-pass pawns, this nice knight here, and he gave it all away. All right, and queen f3 was a very strange move from Nepomniachtchi. And the engine says this is equal now. All right, so black's up a pawn. Black's king is relatively safe. The bishop is innocuous. So queen f3 and queen d1 and queen b1, that was very Giri-like. Speaking of Giri, Giri actually has a nice advantage here with his bishops. Go Giri's bishops. And Naka didn't resign yet. Carlsen didn't resign yet, but he will. Yeah, very nice game by Ding. Ding just played really well. And Magnus did not. God damn. Magnus made a lot of bad moves this game. Yeah, there's no move here. Yeah, walking your king up, over the board isn't the best idea. Yeah, that was a pretty bad game by Magnus. All right, he'll be ashamed of himself. And if anybody's better here, I like white now in MVL's game because I like this knight. I like sacking the exchange. I like the passed pawn. There's nothing about black's position that I like. Naka has to hope that white can't break through. Naka was doing great. Ooh, he took that rook. Okay, here black has to play here. Taking the rook is suicide. That's just nutty. Why would you give him two passed pawns? What? That doesn't make any sense. No, this is just a normal move and you just chill. Wow. He played rook takes d6. Now he's just going to lose. Yeah, this game's over. Yeah. Wow, Naka played really badly when he was winning. Damn. That's crazy how bad Naka played. Yep, and then Zugzwang. That's a funny Zugzwang. I like that. It's almost stalemate. Better watch out for stalemate. That's just crazy. How bad Naka played. But I mean, this move is insane. That's insane, letting him take this way and having 2 connected pass pawns. That's crazy. Yeah, just rook here, and black should try to chill. All right, so that was a weird game. Naka was winning, and now he's just dead lost. Okay, he resigned here. I mean, that was nuts. Wow. Yeah, white's going to play knight here, and then make 2 queens, take this pawn. That was very strange. Rook takes d6. Then Naka resigned. All right, that was weird. How quickly he went downhill. Wow. All right. I guess when you don't care, you don't care. I care now. All right, what happened this game? H3, good. F4, very aggressive. All right, all 3 results possible in this game. Let's see if Giri's thrown away his advantage yet. He has. Yep, Giri was like plus 0.7 here, but now it's equal. Actually, here he should play rook takes d6, rook takes d6, bishop b4. And the engine says white's +1, but he retreated because he's Giri. And then he played f3. Terrible. Bishop c4. Trading everything. And the engine says it's all zeros. So Giri threw all his advantage away. Ding beat Magnus, which, Magnus played on a little too long, I think. He checked and played here. And then he resigned after he played there. Queen b4 is mate. Rook f3 is +20. Queen c6 is +21. I guess mate is good. Yeah. All right. So that was... I don't even know what to say. I got nothing. What's happening here? This game is pretty well played, I think. Pomniachtchi had a big advantage. He threw it away. Now it's equal. Pretty good. King on e6 is solid. And this game, white was much better and threw away his advantage, and now it's equal. 2 knights against 2 bishops. What else? But it's very hard for white to break through. Fabiano with the defense. All right, so normally 2 bishops would beat 2 knights in an endgame, but since white has an isolated pawn and white's king can't break through, it's probably just a draw. There's no way for white's king to get anywhere. Just stays back here, and there's no pawn breaks for white. Still, I'll take white. White has 2 bishops. But yeah, it should be a draw. And this game, all 3 results are possible and will happen. I'd probably rather have black here. I like having an extra pawn, and I like the fact that this bishop is no good. But the engine somehow says it's equal. I guess this king is a little iffy. A little bit. All right, Giri's pressing to win by trading everything. I can't tell you which rook pawn is the wrong rook pawn because white has 2 bishops. So I'm confused. Probably play bishop c1, defending his pawn. 200 centidues, a sound that I do like. Thanks, JGans80. Yeah, I like black here. Black's a pawn up. If they trade queens, this king is better than this king. This bishop's always terrible. This pawn's weak. I don't see any attack on black's king, so I like black here. Okay, Giri did play bishop c1, defending his pawn. And okay, this should just be a draw. f3, confusing the audience. A move I would have never considered. He wants white to play queen takes f3 because the resulting ending is really good for black. Black's king is better, black's spiner piece is better, black's pawn structure is better. So he's not going to play queen takes. So f3 is pretty interesting. Need more coffee, please subscribed. 1 more 100 centidue donation or sub and we get a train. Another train. Who will give 100 cents for our first train? No trains yet. Boo, boo. Boo the audience. Boo Zhangji. 1,040 viewers a do. Confusing everybody. It's another train. Everybody give 100 centimes. Everybody and their mother. Your mother. All right, so this game's going to end in a draw because they're repeating intentionally. Here, 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 here. Okay. And Caruana can play here and claim a draw or play for the win. Will Caruana play for the win when he has no winning chances? He does. Wow. Fabiano could have played here and claimed a draw, but he's like, I'll play for a win. I'm playing Geary. What's the worst that can happen? All right. That was cool. Black has almost no winning chances, but he plays for the win. Insulting his opponent. Good, good. Wow. I said Nepo wouldn't play queen takes. They play queen takes. I mean, that just accepts a very inferior endgame. That's a very strange decision. This king's on e6. Why would he trade queens? God, what a bad move. All right, well, now black is either going to win or draw. Black has all the winning chances. This king's great now. This is a terrible bishop. Pawns are all bad. This pawn structure's solid. I mean, that was crazy taking with the queen. All right, so now black may win or draw. I'm not saying black's going to win, but black can breathe a sigh of relief because he can never lose. With the queens on the board, this king gets mated everywhere, so you got to watch it. But with no queens, black's just better. Yeah. So very, very, very strange decision taking with the queen. Weird. A move I said he would never play. Okay, and then he said, just kidding. We'll just draw. Okay, and then they drew. All right, so we have a draw in this game. Ding beat Magnus pretty easily. MVL was much worse against Naka. Then Naka went insane and lost. And then we got the last game. And we got a train going. Another train. I mean, Magnus has lost 6 games in 7 days. 6 losses is like 3 years for Magnus. So, man, harsh. Truth hurts. Yeah, this is a terrible play by Nepomniachtchi to trade queens. Very helpful to Ali Reza. A bishop on d4 is pathetic. Frankly, terrible. Yay, more subs and more bits and more et ceteras. Supporting Ben. This is the last round of the round robin. And once today is done, that'll determine who plays in the knockouts the next 3 days. So the next 3 days after this one is the knockout matches for the top 4. Then after the knockouts is the real match. May 4th is my match with Rosen. And then May 5th to 10th is the Nations Cup with all those countries and fake countries playing online. And I'll do live commentary of that as well. And May 9th is our super tournament. We're going to have a tournament on my club on chess.com. 1,000 players, probably 25 title players. Open to everybody, 5 sections, huge prizes. Everybody's thrown out for cheating. It'll be great. I was surprised Rosen lost yesterday, but I won't be surprised when I beat him on the 4th. 10 o'clock is the action tomorrow, same as today. Every time is the same. Yay, 11 cents, 100 cents. Let's keep it going. Rosen lost yesterday. And Levy lost yesterday. That was a bigger upset, I think. Levy lost to Teddy Coleman. That's why they're IMs and not GMs. They can't do it. Yeah, they got nothing. All right, I don't know what's going on here. Is Nepomniachtchi thinking 3 minutes here? Really? I mean, maybe he is. I don't know. We haven't had a move in a long time. Not sure what's going on. Probably Fallujah got kicked off the internet again. It's anybody's best guess. Yeah, trading queens was a very strange decision by Nepomniachtchi. Although I don't understand his queen f3, queen d1, queen b1. I don't understand that either. So, checking the engine. Oh, he's got 5 minutes and Alirez has 30 seconds. Good, good. I've never heard of the guy you're talking about playing in the IM tournament. Maybe that's why. You're asking me why an IM's not playing in the IM tournament? There's like 4,000 IMs in the world, and 16 are playing. So almost none of them are playing. Philidor, you are correct, even if you spelled Levy incorrectly. Yeah. All right, so he played rook h8, putting it in h. King F5, defending the H-pawn. And this position is very, very bad. Got to watch it because you might get checkmated. Truth hurts. Remember when he checkmated Geary? Yeah, exactly. All right, now he'll play King G6, defending both of his pawns. King H7, and then he's going to win this pawn, and then he's going to get the wrap it up button. Also, he might mate him. Yeah, now black's just winning. Just winning. He lives in St. Louis. I don't know who lives in St. Louis. Never heard of him. Never heard of anybody. Why would I have heard of an IM? Come on. The top four is decided, but the order of the top four is not. It's Mark. Who'd you say yes to? The tourney flyer's ready? All right, I didn't know the tourney flyer was ready. Good, good. Go tourney flyer. The May 9th tournament has 7 rounds. So you're close. Close. It doesn't require 20 rapid games. It requires some number of blitz games, but I don't know what they are. Only Karen knows. We'll leave the commentary to Karen. Yes, Pietro, I can. Yeah. All right, let's go back. This is all the engine approved, threatening rookie 2-mate. Rookie 2-mate's annoying. We don't have time for this discovered check, because once we get out of it, we're threatening mate. Okay, he played bishop here, so he doesn't get mated. Good, good. The train ended. No. He stops mate by giving his king a flight square. Always repeat, getting himself 10 more seconds. Good, good. Yeah, this is just Firouzja wrapping it up, taking all of Nepo's pawns. Alireza is not going to flag. Alireza is a 10-second increment. Always play bishop f8. All right, so Nepo's going to resign soon because he's going to lose all of his pawns. Just like in the My 16 Memorable Games, they're falling like ripe apples. Queen takes f3. I was like, I'll never do that. Then he did it. I'm like, well, then black's better. Can't play queen takes f3. You're supposed to punish black's king, not make it good. I mean, white has no chance here. Terrible. And the underdogs did well the first game. The lower-rated players did very well. Very well. Like in rapid chess, I guess low-rated players got 3 out of 4 by their rapid ratings. And Alireza is playing good moves. Good, good. Yeah, we're going to have to, people are going to have to start using the emote, put it in H, because Alireza is going to do that soon. That's a very nice plan. The plan that can't be stopped. This is his plan. Tough plan. Man. Show ding game. Rawr. What about this game? All right, they've already started the next round for some reason, confusing the audience. Always confuse the audience. All right, so we got Nakamura versus MVL. And then Nakamura played the Trompowski. That's very funny. All right. What's happening? What kind of opening is this? All right, so they played a strange opening. Good, good. And then we'll get rid of this game, and we'll get rid of this game, and we'll get rid of this game. And then, let's see, put it in H. Gonna keep putting it in H. Always put it in H. King F5, put it in H. Yeah, good job, Alireza. Good, good. See if Magnus is losing yet. F4, very suspicious. All right, well, Magnus isn't losing yet. So that's good. Magnus's opening repertoire this tournament is, how should we say, a bit inelegant. All right. Magnus has not yet begun to lose. These guys are playing pretty silly opening. All right, never been seen before. The engine says black is at least fine. The Indigo girls texted me and said black's position is closer to fine. And then Ali Reza's getting the wrapping it up button. Got to wrap up that gavel. All right, very nice play. Okay, so he played H3, and now he plays D4 check. And the idea is, if you take on D4, knight F4 threatens the rook and mate. If he had played knight F4 right away, this is not mate because I play king D4. So this is brilliant what he did. What Ali Reza did was brilliant. H3, D4, and now if you take on D4, knight F4, threatening the rook and rook E2 mate. And if the king goes here, knight D3 wins the rook. And if the king goes here, rook E2 check, and we either queen or win the rook. H3, D4 is brilliant. Very nice play. Yeah. The king's getting mated, this pawn's queening, the rook's getting lost. Very nice. Now DC3 wins, rook E2 wins. Rook E2 is the best move. That just wins the rook. And now he resigns. That was really nice, what Ali Reza did. Now knight F4 check wins the rook. He was winning anyway, but it was a nice way to win. Okay, and Nepomniachtchi resigned. That was great. All right, so Ali Reza wins the first game. Ding wins the first game. MVL wins the first game. And Giri drew. All right, and we had a train. Not a great train, but all right. All right, Magnus isn't losing yet. He's trying. Okay, obviously worse. All right. So I don't know which Carlsen's playing. It's either his dad or his sister. I don't know. E4, and Giri's confused. He's like, E4, what? How could he play E4? And what happened here? Knight B4, that is correct. Queen D2, and he castled. Castled is good. Knight takes E4. And black's better because white's pawn structure is not good. His king's in the center. He has a bishop. And queen takes and knight takes are both good. Black has the advantage. All right. Did they put up the next Nepo game yet? Which hasn't started, obviously. Here it is. Okay. I can get rid of the other one. All right. So the Nepomniachtchi-Firouzja game hasn't started yet. It'll start in about 5 minutes. The other games are ongoing. Magnus is slightly worse, but he's not lost yet, so that's good. Good. And so forth. All right, he's got the doubling up on the bubble up. What's this? Join my club. E4 resigns. He played C5. We're going to see 20 million moves in a Najdorf. Don't play bishop E5, Fabi. Don't do it. Don't do it. Play D4. Thank you. All right, we're going to see a Najdorf theory to move 25. It's going to be great. Yeah. The two experts on the Najdorf. Good. This will be more prep than the atoms in the universe. All right, so he played E5, played knight B3, knight F3. Yeah, I thought this line was fine for black. And Hikaru's game is whirling by. It's the whirling dirt. Takes the whirly-durly. Took with a pawn, not engine approved. Still says black is doing well. All right. And all zeros. Interesting position, though. B6, yeah, bishop's going to be great here. The knight's going to be great here. He has the E file. He has the D file. Very double-edged position considering the pawn structure is the same. This game hasn't started yet. Magnus traded everything, played knight c4, and then e5. Good, good. Knight d5 attacks the bishop. That's a likely move, as does knight g4. e5 is pretty risky, but you got to risk it to get the biscuit. All right, interesting position. And Fabi played knight d2. Generally, white doesn't want to take here because black has these two weak squares, and the knights want to go there, the white knights. Black wants to take with the pawn, defending those squares. The only reason white takes here is he tries to get his queen to c4 or h3 and take the pawn. Sometimes that happens. Stopping b5. Yeah, but black's fine here. Black got all his pieces out. Good, good. All right, he played rook f e1. Black can move his bishop somewhere. Could also take there, but I wouldn't take there. I would just move my bishop out. This game hasn't started. Magnus retreated. Bishop g1, always retreat. Magnus playing pretty risky this game. This center's falling apart. Black has pressure everywhere. Magnus playing pretty risky this whole tournament. Let's see what happened in Fabiano's game. Bishop b3, castles, castles. Yeah, black has no problem here. Black has equalized. Bishop g4 was played, attacking Naka's rook. Yeah, and black has no problem here, obviously. Frankly. Ding hasn't moved. Fabi played a5. And black has no problem here. Black has no problem here. Black has, black's slightly worse here. Slightly. Just slightly. Remember, if MVL wins the match against Naka and Giri wins his match against Fabi and Ding wins his match against Magnus, Ding gets clear first before the knockouts. And Magnus would be fourth. Boo, boo. All these players can come first, second, third, fourth, the four players. And then it doesn't matter because they all go to the knockouts. So they're all having fun. D takes e5, very risky because Magnus can play bishop takes c5 now. Then it's all kinds of complications. Sacrificing the exchange. So I like black. I like sacrificing the exchange. Caruana's in Giri mode, h3. After the move knight c5. Yeah, white just got nothing from this opening. But he was afraid of knight g4, I guess. So, yeah. Giri just played normal Najdorf moves, and I don't think Caruana's showing his prep or something. I don't know. Yeah, Naka's thinking forever. Forever. And nobody moves here. Zugzwang. Okay, Magnus did play bishop takes c5. Black can move his rook or play knight takes f4, sacking the exchange. Always sack the exchange. Or e takes f4, as long as he sacks the exchange. I want to see everybody play bishop f8. If nobody plays bishop f8, it's not fun. Ridiculous. Very interesting game. Started boring, got interesting. And Fabiano's position's not, there's good and there's not good. Fabiano's position is not good. Yeah, this is like the worst nightmare. Black has two bishops and got to play d5. So Fabi's fighting for the draw as per usual. Yeah, Fabi not playing well this match so far. Giri's pressuring him in all the games. Rain, subscribe. Let's go, Rain. Yeah. What's the compensation for sacking the rook? You get the center, you get pawns, and you get the dark squares, you get the bishops. Lots of compensation. Infinite compensation. Yeah, two bishops, dark squares, all these pawns disappeared. Great. Yeah, he can just play rook d8, but that's no fun. Gotta have fun. All right, speaking of no fun, a5, h3, cb. Come on, Fabi. Come on. All right, so the engine wanted to play queen d2, king f2, knight f1, some move that attacks the rook, but he just moved his rook away, giving the file away. And, black's slightly better here. Not much, but slightly. Just slightly. And he did sack the exchange because he's not going down like no punk. Knight takes f4. Good, good. Everybody plays bishop f8. Great. And then he played rook e1. And, we have this nice center pawns. We have this nice knight. We got the two bishops. What else? We have the dark squares. Great compensation. All right. The engine says equal. You could play knight e7, knight f5. Rawr. Yay. He's got bishop f8. You got to like his position. Even if the engine doesn't. Carwan is playing terrible. Frankly. Yeah, this is crushing for black. Two bishops. Bishop b4 is coming. This is pretty passive. Doubled pawns. Horrible. Very bad play by Fabi. Okay, knight f1. Naka's trying to equalize. Trying is the first step to failure. Ding sacks the exchange. Then thinks forever. Man, we could see Ding playing f6 soon. Could I put up with that? Maybe. Doesn't want to lose this pawn. Rook e1. Man, such passive play from Fabi. All right, and MVL traded the rooks and moved his queen, which was attacked. Good, good. And the engine says queen e7 is equal. Always equalize. Not the most incisive play from either player, but solid. And this game's never going to start. Yay, all players playing at the same time, confusing the audience. If all four games are going on, how can the 23 commentators at Chess24 talk about any of the games? You know what I mean? Yeah, they got to tell their stories too. So, yeah, COVID. If Geary doesn't finish last, I will resub. The more you donate, the more Geary finishes last. All right, so Ding's not moving. Caruana's position's frankly ridiculous. So based on the way this tournament's going, it's going to be like +1 for black, 2 bishops, extra pawn, double pawns on the b file, and then for no reason, Geary trades into a dead drawn endgame. That's how he's been doing at this tournament. And let's see, Nakamura played knight e3. The bishop always retreats. Bishop c8. For some reason, the engine likes the move a5 a lot. But yeah, you should always retreat. He's a Frenchman. What else is he going to do? And all zeros. And this game has started. Nepo played the Dutch. It's the Dutch. MVL was doing well with the Dutch yesterday until he lost against Fabi. Had a good position, though. All right, no. He played f6, then bishop f1. Look at this. Bishop f1. Good job, Magnus. f6. Now who am I rooting for? And the engine prefers white. Bishop f1 being better than f6. All three results are possible, and all three results will happen. All right. Geary is getting a nice advantage here. Getting that battery going. Man, I can't make that joke. No. Terrible. Good joke, too. I mean, I could make the joke because 95% of you wouldn't understand it. So, all right. Queen c6. Got the battery here. Got the battery here. Got the 2 bishops. I need lots of donations to make that joke. All right, got this going on. 2 bishops, doubled pawns, pinning the knight. Terrible for Fabi. Terrible. Yeah, but Ricci's close. Close. All right, Fabi played f3. Boo! Boo! Now, pay attention, guys. Look at the engine evaluation. And now look at it after f3. Boo! Boo! God, f3 is awful. Ugh. His indolence is inefficacious. Terrible. Man. 1,111 viewers. That's the right amount of viewers. Somebody has to donate $99.99 so I can make that joke. Do it. All right, so Fabi's losing because he played F3. It's a terrible move. Let's see how Magnus is doing. Queen F2, that's a good move. Knight E7 is a good move. Knight FD2 is a good move. So that's a nice bishop. That's a nice bishop. That's a nice pawn structure. That's a nice knight. However, white has a rook. So, you know. Very interesting game. The engine likes white, but this position is very difficult for both sides. Rook F8. Good, good. What's going on here? Nothing. Okay, he played Queen E7 with the threat. He's threatening something. Man, the engine line is totally nuts. Watch this engine line. This didn't happen. Rook E8, Knight D5. If you take the knight, you get mated. If you take the queen, then knight takes. Bishop E6. And the funny thing here is black has no threat here. Queen takes, loses, bishop takes, loses, and rook takes, loses. So F5. Now, you want to play rook takes, but knight takes is check. So king H8. That way you can play rook takes. And now, the only move that doesn't lose is this. Otherwise, you're losing. Then your queen's attacked, so queen A8 defending the rook. This is the engine line. This is great. Queen takes C7 is the only move. Bishop takes F5 is the only move. Rook takes C8 is the best move, it says. And then queen E1's the threat, so king F2, and the engine says this is equal. That's the engine line. Engine lines are funny. $9.99. He doesn't give a FCK. He doesn't give one. All right. So hopefully that happens because that's funny. All right. And nothing's happened. They haven't moved yet. This game was a Dutch. They started after everybody else. Firouzja played knight D2, E4. I'm not familiar with that. Doesn't seem like a way to get an advantage. All right. So black's got tremendous pressure here. He's got a battery, etc. Yeah. And Fabiano's been much worse the whole game. His position gets worse and worse and worse. Black has the two bishops, the better pawn structure. I mean, it's the worst pawn structure I've ever seen. I mean, that's just, you know. Fabi's playing so badly this game, worse than Magnus. What an insult. The two worst players, Magnus and Fabi. All right, so Geary's done it again, trying to trade off into a drawn ending. Bishop takes B3. The idea is if knight takes, then queen takes rook, or bishop takes this rook. So you have to take. And he gave up almost all of his great play for this doubled pawn. So black's still better because black's a pawn up, but he's lost a lot of his advantage. That was a very silly move. All right, so he went from like winning to like better because he's Geary. That's what he does. All right, now what happened in this game? This game, things happened. Knight F5, always play knight F5. Now he's threatening the F6 pawn, so queen D8. Magnus played queen B6, trading queens. And then king G7 defends the pawn on F6. So white's up in exchange in an endgame, but black has all this good stuff here. So the engine says white's winning because white's up in exchange and he can infiltrate with his rook. Usually in the endgame, the rooks are dominating. So the engine likes white a lot. It doesn't like the way black has been playing the last 10 moves, but likes the way Magnus has been playing. Knight here, queen B6. Will Magnus continue the good play and infiltrate with his rook? The answer is fries. Right, not a big fan of that move. So black is back in the game. But white wants to do this. Get that rook into the game. All right. Hey, they did all that stuff I said. Remember all that crazy analysis I said? They did it. Yeah, he played rook e8, knight d5, bishop e6, f5. This king h8. Wow. They played that crazy computer line. God damn. They didn't get their ratings off the internet. They actually play real chess. Man. All that stuff I said might happen, like jokingly, the engine line, that's the one that they're playing. Now, queen c7 is forced. Otherwise, white resigns. Must resign. Always resign. And he played that. Bishop takes f5 is forced. And the game's equal. Wow. Wow, they did everything I said. This is the final position of my analysis. Amazing. When I say my analysis, the computer's analysis, obviously. What am I, Maurice Ashley over here? All right. So he broke the pin. Queen d3. Good, good. And the engine likes white a little bit because, nice e-file. All right, what's going on in Fabiano Ghiri? Has Ghiri thrown all his advantage away yet? Queen c2. Not all of it. Black's still better. Much better. All right, Magnus's game. Magnus is winning. Knight h4. Magnus is getting his rook to a7. That is correct. g3. That is also correct. Yeah, okay, and white's just winning because the knights are forked and the rook is good. That game did not work out for Ding. So this match is going to be tied at 1. Nice game from Magnus. Not a great game from Ding. He sacked the exchange, so I liked it, but maybe he shouldn't play like me. Maybe. Maybe he should play like him. Terrible. No, we're under 1,800 subs. No. Boo. All right, Magnus is winning a nice game. Now, after the move, king f2, h5, the engine wants to take this pawn, but he played knight d5. And it says black is better now. Black got some lift for his king. Now he can activate his queen. Queen e4 is also reasonable. Queen a4 was probably the best because it puts pressure here and queen d4 check. All right, knight e3, and we're back to equality. Always equality. And Firouzja's better against Nepomniachtchi. Fabiano's fighting for a sandwich. I mean, a draw. Only Ghiri could draw this game. Only Ghiri. And Dinglaren's losing. Knights are forked. The rook is good. White has a bishop on f1. White played bishop f1 and black played f6. So you got to think white's going to win. Bishop e6 was played. Where was the bishop? It was on f5. Okay. So in these kinds of positions, I like black because I like the bishop. Black's king seems safer. Black has 3-2 on the king side against the white king. The engine says it's equal, but I would prefer black here. I'd rather play black. He doesn't give a FCK subscribe. Good. All right, knight g5, knight c7, and Firouzja's game. White's going to play f4 probably. That's why he played knight g5. Dinglaren resigned very quickly after g3. He played f5. Knight takes e5 check. And then c4. The bishop has no square. And white's plus like 3,000 here. Well, all of black's pieces are hanging, and black is down in exchange. So he resigned. c4 was too explosive for Ding, so Ding gave up. Too explosive. Very nice game by Magnus. Terrible game by Ding. 1-1, Ding Magnus. This match, MVL won the first game. He has an advantage in this position. But, Naka has good drawing chances. Firouzja won the first game against Nepomniachtchi. Firouzja's better here also. And this match, the first game was a draw. And this was winning for Ghiri, but he's trying not to win. Doing a good job. Probably this game will be a draw. I mean, Ghiri probably messed this up already. Too much. No. Yeah, I don't think Ghiri's going to win this. Geary gave up his 2 bishops for like a useless pawn. Then he let white's rook infiltrate. I mean, he just can't win. Terrible. All right, so Geary had a huge advantage, and he's not going to win. In the first game, he had an advantage, and he didn't win. And now they're going to get to a drawn rook ending, and Geary's going to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. I mean, black has winning chances here, so he might win. But it's Geary, so I don't know. I don't trust him. Magnus won already. That match is tied at 1. MVL's putting it in H. Always put it in H. Let's see. Do we have a put it in H thing somewhere? There we go. That's the tier 3, so you guys don't have that. And then Karen fixed the mainly etc. one. Now it looks different. Mainly etc. C4 was explosive and Magnus's game. And the truth hurts. Geary spamming draw offer. That is correct. Queen E4. $15. Need more coffee. Great commentary. Thank you. The more you donate, the more Geary jokes I make. Okay, he put it in H. Nepomniachtchi weakening his G6 pawn and his king in general. Very suspicious. All right. And after H4, he took the pawn. Check. King E2 is forced. Bishop G4 check. And looks like it's going to be a draw. Perpetual check for everybody. And so forth. Mainly and so forth. There's 2 legal moves here. King D3 and takes. They both draw. King D2 is legal, but it shouldn't be. And this should just be a draw. Black can just check forever, or black can take this pawn, which he did. And every move draws. Queen here defending his pawn draws. Queen takes F7 draws. Queen B8 check draws. He played Queen B8 check defending his H pawn. He's decided to draw this way. Now he's forking the 2 pawns. If he takes this pawn, black's going to take this pawn, and white has perpetual. So both sides have perpetual in this game. It's going to be a draw. He's thinking here. Caruana played rook takes D4, G5, rook D7, rook E5, and this is going to be a draw. So Geary couldn't win his 2 bishops and big advantage position. Terrible. Magnus already won his second game. I wonder if they put the third game up yet. They did. All right. There's the third game. Hasn't started yet. This game is going to be a draw. And then what did he do? He played some crazy move. Oh, H3 is not crazy. Okay, Queen H4, King G8. It doesn't like H3, but it's not crazy. All right, this is a very unclear position. This is going to be a draw. So Fabiano Geary is going to be a draw. Nakamura MVL is going to be a draw. Firouzja Nepo, all 3 results possible. And will happen. The more you donate, the more your favorite player will win. So if you only donate like $2, man, then the opponent's the favorite. Yeah. Let's see. Feingold Rosen, hooray. Two favorite players, Caruana and Naka. The more you donate, the less they lose. All right, both sides have perpetual check, confusing the audience. Probably he'll play G5. I would play G5. Play for the win. And what happened in this game? He played G5, Queen H5, Knight D5. The engine says it's about equal. Pretty interesting equal position. And he played King H2, putting it in H. You could ignore the engine results here. It's obviously a draw. And this game hasn't started yet, the game 3 game. So Ding won the first game. Magnus won the second game, so they're tied at 1. MVL won the first game against Takaru. Ferrugia won the first game against Nepomniachtchi, and Caruana drew the first game. And the three matches are on game 2, and only Ding and Magnus are waiting for their third game to start. I mean, Black should be better here with G5. His 3-1 majority is better than Hikaru's 3-1 majority because his pawns are more advanced. Uh-oh, somebody wants their favorite player to win, so they've donated. $29.99. My favorite R. Kelly. Thanks, R. Kelly. All right, always check. Yay, Karen's buying merch. Yay, thanks, Karen. All right, so queen here, queen e7 is very weird. All right. A4, G5. All right, the engine likes black. Queen D4. Black's pawns seem more dangerous than white's right now. Yeah, there we go. Those pawns are more advanced, so that's more dangerous. All right, 6 passed pawns. God damn. This is awesome. 6 passed pawns. I didn't see that coming. The crowd has rights. They want to see 6 passed pawns. Yay. And the engine says it's a draw because both sides have perpetual. Both sides are queening. Good, good. Black's threatening this. So you better watch it. Yay. The most interesting queen and pawn endgame ever. Confusing the audience. MVL won the first game in this match. All right. Both sides, he's trying to trap his queen. H4, that is correct for black. Bishop G4, queen G6. Black can repeat if he wants. Or black can play for the win. Let's see, he played E6, playing for the win. That's what good waffles do. They play for the win. This queen's a little trapped, so you better watch it. Pretty trapped. They better watch his step there. And how's Fabiano doing? H4, putting it in H. Good, good. All right, looks like a draw. And this game hasn't started yet. And queen G2, giving up his F pawn because he wants to go here. Yeah, I agree with playing H3, H2, H1. So he gave up his F pawn with check. He's stopping white from queening, and now this pawn can't be stopped. So either white gets perpetual check or black wins because black's going to do this. Probably perpetual check is the most likely. Yeah, there we go. All right. So white gives it perpetual, and the game's going to be a draw. If white doesn't, then black's going to win. Queen F7. Oh, it's check, because that move didn't make any sense. All right. All right. They're going to agree to a draw soon, because can't let black queen, so got to keep checking them. And he played knight D2. He's hoping his queen can get out somehow, somewhere, something. And Fabiano played rook B4. Good, good. If he plays king H3 here, then rook here defends the pawn. So he plays here. He'll take with the king. And then, black's not going to win with these pawns.
March approved by Karen.
Never play F6. All right. And this should just be a draw. What? Somebody else actually bought? Ben, tell the joke, darn it. Ludmir's from France bought merch. Go merch. No, when I was talking about, Geary having these batteries everywhere, I said that's strange. I was thinking that was strange because usually Sopiko's the one using the batteries, if you know what I mean. So I was like, all right, I guess Geary can use the batteries too. All right, so rook C4, etc. All right, so yeah, Fabiano's going to draw. Amazing. Okay, this game ended in perpetual. The game between Naka and MVL. All the passed pawns did not queen. Frankly terrible. All right. That's right. I don't get it is correct. All right. And then let's see. Did they put up the next Naka game yet? Man, there's a lot of games in here. I'm getting confused. He's playing MVL. They did. Okay. Now I can get rid of this one. All right. So this is game 3. All right. And Magnus played H5. And this is the guy you say is the greatest player who ever lived. All right. Very suspicious. And then White played H3, confusing the audience. I know I'm confused. Is there any chance I visit Israel? There is no chance. Yeah, H5 is genius. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. No. All right, he put it in H. Always put it in H. Also, god damn. Only I can put it in H because it's tier 3. Who's my favorite IM? I don't know. John Bartholomew. Okay, so Ali Reza got his queen out at the expense of his pawn structure. And White's just obviously worse here. So all that stuff was full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Now White's position is pretty pathetic. All right, that's pretty drawn. This is pretty equal. I don't understand what's going on here. H5, H3. Come to Seattle? Why am I coming to Seattle? I've been to Prague. I was in Prague before you were born. Yeah. Will Smith is my favorite IM. What? All right, so this is how they play chess now. H5, H3. Bam. Very suspicious. All right, very bad position for Fallujah. He put the rook here to put it behind the pawn. Good, good. That's the correct move. Try to get his pawn going. Rooks belong behind passed pawns. He's going to take on H5 and then bring his rook back to A1. One way to do it is to play takes, king G3, and rook here. That's a funny way of doing it. Then the rook's going to go here, the pawn will go here, and that should probably be a draw. Probably. Frankly. All right, E6. Yeah, what? He played knife F1. He wants the knight to go here, the bishop to move out. But yeah, this pawn's pretty weak. And he's given up all these squares. So black has a big advantage here. The engine wants to play E5 and go for the direct attack against White's king, since this isn't developed yet, and says black's winning. Yeah, this queen sortie did not work out. Bishop G4, confusing the engine. That was me. That wasn't... he didn't play queen takes bishop, giving his queen away. What is he, Magnus? All right, so Fabi did play takes and king G3. He's going to move his rook around here. Try to draw the game that way. And it's 2 pawns each, but this pawn's pretty good. So good winning chances for black. Can Fabi hold it, letting the rook go behind the pawn? Very suspicious. Probably. This game hasn't started. H5, ridiculous. And bishop G4, queen D3, queen F7. He wants to play queen H5. Oh, but he played knight H5. If queen H5, bishop G3. Yeah, and this is just incredibly terrible for white. Really terrible. Yeah, that didn't work out for Ali Reza. All right, he got his rook to A1. Can white draw? The answer is fries. Maybe it's winning because this is here and the rook is there. Probably it's winning now. Even if it's winning, how can Geary win? Probably it's winning though. Probably letting him push the pawn a2 and putting the rook on a1. That's probably wrong. Yeah, this is winning for black. Yeah, if the king goes over here, then black should just win. Otherwise, black can do that. Black can play rook here and move his king up, and white's going to run out of moves. Should be winning for Geary. As per usual, Geary wins. If anybody could not win it, it's Geary. Okay, knight f6 by Magnus. Move makes no sense. All right, what's going on here? Bishop g3, takes, pawn takes, queen f2, e5 is coming, queen takes b2 is coming, everything's coming. I mean, black's just winning here. 2 bishops for nothing. White has an exposed king. His rook is no good. Knight is passive. And they haven't started game 3 yet in the other matches. Ding has sacrificed a pawn, trying to punish, h5. Magnus could be a pawn ahead. Go Magnus. Not sure what h5 was all about. I made you an emote. Where can I send it? Exclam, always ask Karen. Exclam questions. If Bobby Fischer studied today's openings, Bobby Fischer can't study today's openings. He's been dead for over 10 years. So Bobby Fischer can't beat nobody. Maybe half of you guys, but not any grandmasters. Email Karen. All right, so white sacrificed a pawn, and black played h5 very early. So the engine says white's better, but close. Close. It's like a Smith-Morra now where black's played h5. Very suspicious. e5, that is correct. Exactly. Let's see. News is boring. News is boring. Appleside subscribed. Woohoo! Go Appleside. Let's see. What are they saying on Twitter? This is on Twitter. In the wise words of Ben Feingold, how does Chess24 find time to analyze today's games with all the commentators talking about gaming chairs and luxury brand shirts? That is correct. They do talk about nonsense. Yeah. I commentate on the games by reading Twitter. All right, h5, frankly ridiculous. Is this game over yet? e5 was correct. Bishop f3 is good. Man, the truth hurts. God damn. It's the beatdown of all time. Yeah, the problem with queen d2 is bishop takes g2 wins a piece. And if he plays knight e3, rook takes e5, threatens rook takes e3. So, yeah, black's winning a piece here. I just take this and you can't take back. Yeah, so he's going to equalize the score. Let's see if Geary can win this one endgame. The answer is fries. 50-50. Geary wins. 50-50. All right. MVL versus Hikaru has started game 3. This is game 3 in the Dingler and Magnus match. This is game 2. So bishop takes g2 wins and queen takes b2 wins. And bishop h5 for some reason wins. Not sure why. definitely would take something. Always take everything. All right. Winning, just winning. And will Geary win? I don't know. It's going to be close. And after G3, Hikaru's flummoxed. Flummoxed. All right. Nepomniachtchi played bishop takes G2. Knight takes G2. Black's can either take this or play queen takes B2. They both win. I assume he'll take this. He did. Black's up a pawn. This pawn's ridiculous. This king's ridiculous. The knight's ridiculous. This rook is ridiculous. It's completely winning for black. Plus 1,000. Horrible position for white. Horrible. All right. Always repeat. So far, Geary hasn't shown anything. Still probably winning because this rook is here, but he hasn't shown a winning method yet. All right, MVL playing the double fianchetto. Good, good. That's how I play. All right, knight G5, confusing the audience. Rawr. All right, the engine says that Magnus is basically equalized. He's up a pawn. He's played this terrible move early, and Ding is sort of, playing silly here. Not sure what that was all about. I guess we'll find out. Stopping him from castling later. Yay, double fianchetto. You know those fianchettos that are like double fianchettos? Yeah. Firouzja's doing the walk of life. All right, so instead of resigning, he's moving his king up the board, and he wants perpetual check. So actually, D takes is the only winning move. Bishop takes doesn't win, and queen takes doesn't win. But he played D takes. Then there's no perpetual. Otherwise, it's perpetual. Too bad for Ali Reza. He played for tricks, but tricks are for kids. No perpetual for you. Now, black's up a lot of material, threatening to trade queens. And his king's no good. He has no perpetual check. After queen check, bishop f8, there's no more checks. After queen check, king h8, there's no more checks. Truth hurts. Okay, and Firouzja resigned. So this match is tied at 1. Firouzja Nepo, Firouzja won game 1. Nepomniachtchi won game 2. Same as in the Magnus Carlsen match. Magnus lost game 1, won game 2. MVL won game 1, and they drew game 2. This is game 3. And this is game 2. They drew the first game, and this is the second game. This is the only match that's on game 2. All right. So 50-50, Geary winning or draw. Probably winning with correct play. Probably. But it is Geary. So, you know how it is. Okay, let me pull up the next Firouzja game if I can find it. There it is. All right. And we can get rid of this one. Good, good. All right. And then this is MVL versus Naka. MVL played PD2, E3, C4. And now it looks like a reversed Benoni, as in the game Nakamura Geary, which was a regular Benoni. All right, double-edged play. Good, good. All right, he sacked another pawn. Knight G5, Queen F3. Magnus took the second pawn. The engine agrees. Now the engine says it's equal. Isn't black up 2 pawns? Yeah. Man, the engine line's really cool. Look at this engine line. Bishop D6, rook E5 to take this, and then castles. Now that's an engine line. Yay. And then it says it's still equal. Queen here, threatening this. And then F6 is the only move. What world do I live in? Takes, bishop D3, threatening mate. Rook takes F2, the only move. So the king gets out of mate. Wow. And then it says this is equal. Now it likes black. Yay, go black. All right, none of that's going to happen, but if it does, it'll be the greatest thing that's ever happened. All right, let's see if Geary can wrap it up or he can draw it up. G4, F4 is the only move. Rook H1. King G6. He could have also played Rook H2. King G6 is good. Stopping Rook H5 check, Rook A5. Yeah, now it says black is +5. That means he'll probably win. Let's see. Now it says Rook F1 is... No, now it says it's losing. King D4. All right, so probably black's winning based on the engine evaluation doing this. But it's Geary, so we shall see. Okay, he played Queen D1, and then he played Queen C8 first. Knight E8. All right, it's a slow maneuvering game fighting for these important squares. These squares are important. And unfortunately, I think black's going to play... Yeah, he did. I knew he was going to do that. The reason he played Knight E8 was to play F6, E5. Boo! No. And he did. He's going to play E5 next. No, never play F6. Boo. I knew Naka would do that just to get me. Okay, Magnus is thinking forever. And what's happening here? King G6, Rook F2, King D4, King G5, King E4. These guys got to have no time by now. This is the only game that's game 2. The other ones are on game 3. Could somebody look at the official site and tell me what the clock times are? $45 to 15. Oh, seconds. Yeah, that makes sense. Geary has 15 seconds? God damn. I'm not saying he must win. He's got 15 seconds. It's not even clear he's winning. He wants to play Rook C6 check and Rook A6. He wants that Rook on A6, A5, A7, not A1. Yeah, the engine says it's winning, but Geary keeps putzing around. He gets 10 seconds a move, so better watch out for 3-time repetition. Some of these positions have occurred already. All right, this is the game that doesn't end. All right, Naka realized the error of his ways, and after F6, played F5. Yay, go Naka. No more F6. Okay, and MVL sacked a pawn. He's going to play Rook here, Queen here, Knight C4. Pawn sacrifice. The positional pawn sacrifice. This pawn's weak. I got the E5 square. Pawns are all weak, but black's up a pawn. So the engine says equal. Practically speaking, I think I take white here because I got all the pressure, and black has to defend. This bishop's going to come back here, etc. This game's pretty equal. Magnus hasn't moved in 5 minutes in this position. I've seen this position forever. All right, it doesn't like what Magnus did. Remember I said black should castle here? That's the engine move. He just took back. Okay, so black's up in exchange, but his king is bad as usual. And after bishop A3, the engine likes white. You know, bishop A3, rook D1, attack. You know how it is. And Magnus has the 2 bishops, but so does his opponent. So Magnus has an extra exchange and a pawn, but as usual, his king is running around. So another interesting game. Very interesting. But after the simple bishop A3, rook D1, just developing his pieces, it says white's advantage is overwhelming. It doesn't think black can defend properly. Rooks are no good. King is no good. All right, so good position for Ding. Let's see, they made a lot of moves here. All right. This looks Pretty winning for black. Yeah, so Geary's going to win. Yeah, the king was going to come in here, so he played g5 to distract him, but well, it's the same position now with the g-pawn gone. Okay, and he resigned. So yeah, Geary won. Yeah, probably Fabiano had to keep his king around here. Putting his king here, letting the king walk in, that wasn't right. All right, I've never said this before. Geary won. Man, Geary likes to win with the black pieces, not with the white pieces. That's for sure. So Geary's ahead. And then they're on game 3 in every game, in every match. Geary's up 1.5 half. MVL is up 1.5 half. And the other 2 matches are tied at 1. And MVL played my suggestion, bishop c1, getting the bishop to a better square. And white has excellent compensation for a pawn. Black is really on the defensive here. This game hasn't started. He did play bishop a3, and the engine says a6 is a blunder. It says he was almost lost anyway, but now white just wins instantly. It says knight takes, resigns. And the truth hurts. After knight takes, the engine plays king c8, giving the queen away. So what are we missing? Takes, queen takes, and the king is in some trouble here. Like this is resigns, it says. There's no defense to rook d1. Well, he can't play here. He can't play here. Let's see, what can you play? Yeah, I don't see anything good. So the engine does this. This is the engine line. This is the best black can do. Oh, this is just resigns. So if Ding finds knight takes e6 and queen e6, the game's over. If he finds it, a6 is just a blunder. So Ding didn't find it. Ding's winning, but this is more easily winning. Just takes. There's no defense to rook d1. Rook d1 also wins. It's just not as winning. But I mean, obviously, I'm threatening this. I mean, black's position is ridiculous. Okay, so still winning, and the only move that doesn't give white like a +10 position is king c8, and then rook takes d7 is winning because of well, it's already defended. So this is the only move, king c8, and then white is still winning. I mean, obviously this doesn't make any sense. Yeah, a6 was just a loss of a tempo. It was just a bad move in a bad position. All right, and Naka played knight b5. Naka wants to come in here, I guess. And the engine doesn't like that move. It says knight g5 and white's close to winning. Because this pawn's really weak. And then it opens up for the bishop. He played bishop f4, which the engine says is a terrible move. Now it says it's equal again. It really liked knight g5. God damn. All right, bad play throughout. Firouzja's in Zugzwang after e4. He's been playing the Carol Khan this tournament. Geary Fabiano hasn't started. And after rook d1, Magnus is choking on his own rage. Well, Ding probably saw knight takes, but thought that this was just simpler, not sacking a piece and having all these threats. King c8, that is correct. Now, bishop takes does not win, and queen takes does not win. Only rook takes wins. Rook takes is the most obvious of the three, but for low-rated players like you guys, you like to play moves like check, but, forcing the king to safety. Rook takes is the obvious move. I'm sure he'll play that. The funny thing is, after rook takes, queen takes c3, the engine plays bishop to f1, stopping black's counterattack on the 8th rank, since the bishop controls h2. And then white's dominating over here. So and these rooks are, irrelevant. Okay, the engine really hates this move. It says that's a terrible move. King h1 wins. King f1 is a draw. 50-50. Will he play the right move? The answer is fries. What's funny is, in the variation I showed you, bishop f1 was winning. And in this variation, after king here, queen takes, the engine plays bishop f8, threatening mate. Always play bishop f1 and bishop f8. All right, so Magnus gave his queen away. After bishop check, he played takes. Knight takes e6. White has a queen for 2 rooks, and white's a pawn ahead. The king is ridiculous. This rook is ridiculous. And these pieces are all awesome. And white's threatening mate in 1. Bishop e5. Every move wins for white. Knight f8's the most winning. Queen f5 is completely winning. Bishop f8 is winning. And, black's position's ridiculous. Always play bishop f8. Threatening queen e8 checkmate with advantage. Got to stop queen e8 checkmate. Problem is white's threatening f4 and the bishop has nowhere to go. So it's too bad. So he has to play king here. There's no other move. And white's just completely winning. +7, +9, +10, +20. Okay. Yeah, you really shouldn't joke around with Ding. Ding is a pretty good player. All right, knight b6. Knight takes a3, confusing the audience. This is Hikaru's game. And the game makes no sense. So Hikaru's probably happy. He likes when it makes no sense. He's pretty good at that. The nonsensical game. White's sacrificing all of his pawns, but his black's knight's no good. Queen's almost trapped. e6 pawn is weak, etc. All these pawns are weak. Queen e2, that is correct. Engine approved. All right, they're playing very quickly. Queen e2, queen d8 is right. Check is right. King h8 is right. Knight d7 and knight d5 are both good according to the engine. He played knight d7. Bishop c8 is forced. Queen takes c6 is forced. And the engine says white's slightly better. Just slightly. Bishop takes d7. Queen d5. And craziness has ensued. All right. So I guess he did play the Carol Khan, Ali Raza. This looks like they did this before. Yeah, they already did this position. Yeah, this is their previous game. This is still their previous game. They did this already. All right, this is all new. And the engine says white's slightly better since black's king is on d7. Firouzja and Magnus like to walk their king up the board with black. Not always with good results, although Firouzja did win the first game in this line. Okay, Magnus resigned because Magnus has no pieces left. Truth hurts. All right, bishop f8. Always play bishop f8. Bishop c6 is a bad move, but he's losing anyway. Bishop d6. Problem with bishop takes bishop is queen c7 mate. So he played here hoping he could checkmate Ding with rook takes. And then after check, the knight moves with check, and then queen takes rook. If the king goes here, knight d8. So the king went here, and then knight f8. And then the queen's going to take the rook next move because it's check. I mean, I got nothing. I never seen Magnus every match just like losing games. I mean, Magnus never loses. They lose every game. Also, he plays crazy. Damn. By the way, the game Magnus won with white was pretty sane for him. Developed his pieces, outplayed his opponent. Then with black, he plays like a lunatic. Man. So Magnus lost both games against Ding with black in less than 30 moves, and then some. Man, did he get beat. God damn. So Magnus needs to win to tie the match and go to Armageddon. And let me see if I can find the last Magnus game, or if they threw him out of the tournament. I don't know. No, it's not up yet. I don't think. I don't see it. All right. And I got one thing to say in all seriousness. One thing. Magnus Carlsen, greatest player ever. Dumbasses. All right. Karpov and Kasparov lost like that all right. Bishop takes d7, knight c2. And then in the way Ben Feingold plays, sack the exchange, and the engine approves. Always sack the exchange. It's not really a sack because I have bishop d6, but yeah. Greatest of all times have a bad 7 days in a row. Bam! That's right, Nightbot. Bishop d6. Never sack the exchange for real. Just kidding. Somehow the engine says this is equal, even though white sacrifices a pawn every move, sacks an exchange, 2 bishops, what else? All kinds of nonsense going on, and still it's equal. The best move is knight g5. Bam! That's an MVL kind of move. Defending his queen. Yeah, he did play knight g5. 2 bishops, what else? Man, talk about winning your exchange back. God damn. All right, and then let's see. Takes, knight h4. King's still a little suspicious. Anish Giri's game hasn't started yet with Fabi. Ding won again. Did they put the Magnus game up, the last game with Ding? I don't see it. I don't see it. I mean, they're not going to start for like 4 minutes. 200 centidues. Hooray. All right, so Ding is up 2-1. Giri's up 1.5 half. Nepomniachtchi and Firouzja are 1-1. And I think MVL's up 1.5 half, but I'm getting confused over here. There's too many matches. Yeah. The important thing is, see, it's Magnus's tournament. He's the host, so he should let the other players win some games. And he did. Okay, Hikaru put it in H. You can take on f8. You can play knight f7 check. 350 centidues. Another train. Knight f7, that is correct. King h7. Confusing the audience. The engine says everything is equal for some reason. Trying to learn. Get that scam train started. Queen c4, knight g6, fg. Okay, so Nepomniachtchi sacrificed a pawn, and Firouzja's king is no good. His pawn structure is no good. His play is no good. But the engine says equal. Giri Fabi still hasn't started? Wow. They finished a long time ago, didn't they? Maybe they didn't. All right, so in the true spirit of sacrificing the exchange, MVL did not take the rook, always play bishop f8, which the engine plays. 420, chose that number randomly. Choose that number if you got it. He played bishop c5, and Hikaru likes his rooks. He moved his rook away, and now the engine likes white, black, I mean. I confuse white and black, like Michael Jackson. So black's up in exchange for no pawns. He didn't play bishop f8. Always play bishop f8, except here. Cy Bradbury putting us at level 3. Thanks for the gift subs. All right, so MVL is now much worse against Naka. This game makes no sense. Okay, they started, and Fabiano played the Dutch again, even though he hasn't played it yet. The Dutch is making an appearance in this tournament, and he's playing it against the Dutchman. No, the Dutch against the Dutch. It's a double Dutch. Where's my jump rope? Okay, knight c3. I've played that move. I've played this line with white. I've had white in this position many times. It gives him nothing. No advantage. Yay, 999. That's good German. Thanks, Appleside. It's lots of Dutches. e6. Good, good. They still haven't put the 4th game up from the Nakamura match, from the Carlsen match. JAA Adande gifted 14 subs. That's an odd number. 14. Does that put us at something like 1,800 or something? Is that why he did that? Let's see. 1,800. That's why he did that. Yay, 14 subs. We're back to 1,800. Hey, can Karen or Trying to Learn go to Slack and tell them to put the game 4 up from the Carlsen Ding match? They didn't put it up yet. Carlsen Ding, we need game 4. They haven't started yet, but they should have the PGN. If one of you guys could do that. Keldon Chess subscribed. We don't have game 4 up for the Carlsen Ding match. It's not. I can't click on it. I got nothing. I'm all talking a badge. All right, Geary playing for the smallest of advantages. Geary's up 1.5-half. No, the Americans are both losing 1.5-half to the gawking rabble. Although Nakamura might win this game. So okay, so everybody's playing on the 8th rank. Rook C1, Knight E1 exclam, former muscle, attacking the D3 pawn, and then some. That's a very serious threat. Knight E1, very good move by Nakamura. Nakamura outplaying MVL this game after MVL decided not to take this rook. A bad decision. All right, Firouzja conversely just takes everything. Queen takes A2. The engine says, no, because now we have Knight E4 taking advantage of this pin, and the knight has lots of good squares. All right, so B6 is forced, according to Stockfish, stopping Knight C5. That seems like a very strange move, weakening the protection of the knight. I don't see him playing B6. All right, so White has excellent compensation for 2 pawns. Double pawns, weak pawn, king is no good, open file for White, knight's coming in, queen is suspicious, White's queen can come in. So very good compensation for 2 pawns. All right, we got some kind of, stone wall here. All right, good. The engine always likes White in the stone wall because of this bishop. The engine always loves White. I agree, I like White also. White traded the dark squared bishops. Good. All right, Knight E1, bishop takes D4, bishop E6, good move. And the engine says black is just winning. This is hanging, this is attacked, knight F3, knight takes D3. He traded on E6, rook takes E6. The knight's almost trapped, the D3 pawn is hanging. And I guess this is cute. If you go here, I can take it and play knight takes D3. 100 centidues, thank you. That's actually a pretty funny trap. Knight E5, rook takes, bishop takes, knight takes D3, and the rook can't defend the bishop on E5. All right, so he's just an exchange up for nothing, so I assume he's going to win. Nakamura is going to tie the match up. Rook F8 was played, and now knight C5 check should just wrap it up. He played knight C5 check, and excellent position for Nepomniachtchi. He could play queen G4, threatening both, and he did. This is obviously more serious. And the only defense is D4, so the queen defends by discovery. He can also play rook F7 and run away, but he's losing all of his pawns, so that doesn't seem good. Yeah, this isn't good for black. Somehow running your king up in the center in the middle game wasn't good. I'm not sure why. Okay, and Geary's pressing that slight advantage. Geary can wrap the matchup this game if he wins. Tournament's great. Good players. Great. In Soviet Atlanta, exactly. 99.99 is better. Yeah. All right. What's going on here? MVL is losing. Yeah. Just down the exchange for nothing. Knight's not very good either. So if MVL can take this and get his knight out, he can try to draw with the pawns on the same side of the board, but that's still losing. And he played D4, defending his E-pawn. Queen takes G6, threatening the G7 pawn, B7 pawn. I mean, black's just lost. I mean, the king is here. Ridiculous. So Firouzja's losing, and if he does lose, Nepomniachtchi takes a 2-1 lead, winning 2 in a row. And you would expect White would win this game, since he is winning and Black's king is terrible. So it's hard to play Black. They did put the 4th Magnus game up. Thank you, Karen, and trying to learn if you guys were responsible for that. And they've already started. So am I right? This is the only game 4 going on? Magnus versus Ding. The other ones are all game 3? I think I'm right. I don't know. Okay, Magnus plays the King's Gambit. All right. Played a very unusual line. Black did. All right, so Black got all his pieces out. Black castled. Black's up a pawn, and the engine likes Black. It's a must-win game for Magnus. If he loses the game, he loses the match, and Ding takes the lead in the tournament temporarily. Possibly not temporarily, since Nakamura's behind in his match, and Caruana's behind in his match. If Ding wins this game, or draws this game, he might win the round-robin section of the tournament. Shocking. And the other games are on game 3. Instead of playing knight takes b3, Naka chose the very strange f4. Not taking the pawn. So MVL's like, all right, I'll save my pawn. It's an unusual decision. Okay, knight b3. And the knight is trapped, so knight d8. All right, so Black should win, but White has drawing chances since Black only has the pawns on the king side. Didn't take this pawn either, but all right. Can't really agree with that. But Naka's better than me, so I guess I have to agree with it. I like taking pawns. I like dags. All right, he played rook f7. The engine says no. Knight takes b7, threatening the knight, and knight d6. Queen takes b2, threatening queen f2, and queen b7. However, queen f2 isn't a serious threat because I play king h1. So he just played knight d6. And then if queen f2, king h1, and then we continue the onslaught of Black's king. The onslaught which will never end because that king's never going to be safe. And White's completely winning. The king is frankly ridiculous. King on h1's pretty safe. So Nepomniachtchi is going to win and take a 2-1 lead after losing the first game. Okay. That is correct. Check out the Carol Khan command. All right, let's check it out. Everybody's texting me. Let's see. What Carol Khan? Exclam C-A-R-O. And then you spelled Khan wrong, unfortunately. All right. Yeah, Khan is... Okay, that's the Khan from William Shatner, so that's okay. All right, that's... yeah, good use of Nightbot there, trying to learn. Good job. Good use. Okay. Back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes Perrier. All right, White is clearly slightly better because his bishop's no good. Otherwise, Black's position's pretty good. If he could play bishop f8, he'd be doing great. But, you know, it's a stonewall, so your bishop's no good. What do you want? All right, Magnus played the King's Gambit, continuing his onslaught of terrible openings. And he just has a bad position. Queen e1, bishop e2. God damn. It's a good thing Magnus isn't playing Morphy. Man. Morphy would chew him up and spit him out. God damn. All right. Black's up a pawn. And let's see. Looks like Naka's messed this up. Damn. A-pawn's getting pretty strong. God damn. All right, so Naka was clearly winning. Now 50-50. Naka needs to win this game because he's down a point in the match, tying up the match, winning with black. Pretty impressive. How does a light square bishop go to f8? Somebody who's not a sub or a GM. Typical question. Magnus avoiding his prep. Magnus is having too much fun today. No having fun in chess. Chess is serious. All right, so excellent drawing chances for white I'm not sure how white has a queenside pawn and black doesn't. Not sure how that happened. All right, queen takes f2, king h1, and now it's resign time. Black's position is frankly ridiculous. Yeah, white's going to play queen e4 and take all these pieces and checkmate the king and take this piece. Terrible. Very good game by Nepomniachtchi. He really broke through this game. All right, takes. Yeah, very nice position for Giri. Fabiano's played really passively this match with white and black. He's like, help, I'm Fabiano. Very poor play this match from Fabiano. All right, c6, bishop e2, rook e8, g3. Very suspicious play for Magnus. And he did play rook a2, the only good move, knight e6, rook f6, rook d6, defending his pawn. I don't know how this happened. I mean, black had an exchange up for nothing, and now white has 2 pawns for it, and a passed pawn. God damn. Now, this seems more like a draw than a win to me. Ooh, Bartholomew Trent. Ooh. After this tournament's over, go to the chess Twitch and watch Bartholomew Trent. Yeah. It'll be another case of an American beating up on an Englishman. All right. Just like boxing. All right, he put it in h5. Engine does not approve of that move, giving up the g5 square. And now it says it still likes black. I think white's fine here. I think Amvel's going to hold the draw. This is Firouzja resigning. This is... Oh! White had a nice position, then played f3. The engine does not approve. Weakening the e3 square. Boo! Never play f3. The engine went from big advantage to white to equal. Does not like f3. Come on, Giri. Giri taking the biggest of advantages and making it equal. Typical Giri. Giri just can't play against the Dutch. He's torn. It's the Dutch against the Dutch. All right, Magnus's game was very interesting. It's a King's Gambit. D takes e5. That is correct. Knight takes e5. The engine says that's a blunder. Doesn't like that move. And now black is winning by playing knight takes, pawn f3. Now black can play f3. That's fine, but not white. And black has a big advantage with his extra pawn and passed pawn in the 6th rank. Good. Also, f3 right away is okay. And taking this is good. Black's up a pawn. White doesn't really have enough compensation. Very suspicious match by Magnus thus far. All right. And I think this is going to be a draw. Sacrificing his knight. If rook takes knight, f5 check. Nice tactical trick. Good. And Firouzja's been thinking 5 minutes in this position. Every move loses, so he doesn't want to move. Okay, Fabi played b6, weakening his c6 pawn a little. Queen c3. Very passive play by Fabi. And Ding's thinking in this position for a while. So many possible captures. Knight takes, bishop takes, never play f3. Although that's for white. And the engine really likes black after knight takes, pawn takes, f3. Saying black has a close to winning advantage. Close. Hikaru played the correct move, avoiding this check by playing king h6. Now he is threatening the knight. And f5 was played. Hopefully Hikaru will get rid of this pawn. Good, good. This to me seems more like a draw than a win. I think this is a draw. I don't see how black wins here. All right. He played knight takes e5. Very suspicious. Queen e4 and queen b1 both win. I don't know why you would play queen b1 if you could play queen e4. I don't know why. Queen b1 also wins. But queen e4 wins more easily. I mean, who would play queen b1 if they could play queen e4? I don't know. You can't take the knight because queen f1 is mate. So, he already moved. Queen e4 is correct. King takes d6. Jesus Christ. And now the engine announces checkmate. Pretty easy checkmate. Check, check, and mate. What? What's he doing? This is just mate. I'm not sure what he didn't see. What? What's going on here? Why did he just walk into mate? Okay, well. I mean, he's losing anyway. I guess it didn't matter. I'm not sure what happened. I mean, the game's over. Oh, he just resigned here after queen takes. Okay, and he resigned. He's getting mated. All right, so Ali Reza's king never found a good home, and he's down 2-1. Ali Reza won the first game, and he lost the next two. He needs to win the final game to tie the match. Pomniachtchi's up 2-1. Ding Laren's up 2-1. And Giri, Caruana, and MVL Nakamura are playing game 3 right now, with the Americans down 1.5-1/2. And let's see if they got the fourth game up in this match. They do. All right. And this is game 3. Nakamura's down 1.5-1/2. Never play f3. And this looks like a draw to me. This is better for Giri, slightly better for Giri. It looks like every move Ding played was correct. Takes f3. Queen d4 is a good move. Threatening f2, winning immediately. Threatening everything. Queen e4 is forced, it says. He played queen e4. Well, this is a must-win game for white, and white's a pawn down and worse. f2 is correct. Yeah. So bishop f3 is winning the exchange. Yeah, so Magnus is just lost here. Bishop f3. He played g4. The engine says bishop h4 wins. It's a pretty tricky move. Bishop h4. Why can't I take this? Oh, you take this and take this. Damn. Damn. Yeah, that's annoying. According to the engine, bishop h4 is completely winning. I'm not even sure I would consider that move because my knight's hanging. And after bishop takes, knight takes, the game's equal. Wow, bishop h4 defending his pawn. That's a really hard move to find, I think. F5 is the second best move. God damn. F5 is a funny move. So the engine says taking is equal, taking this is equal. F5 is slightly better for black, and bishop h4 wins. Man, bishop h4 is hard to find. God, he played bishop h4. God, Ding is good. God damn. Ding's played like 7 engine moves in a row. Like taking on e5, f3, queen d4, queen e4, f2, bishop g4, bishop f3, bishop h4 were all the engine moves. God damn. So Ding might win this game and win the match 3-1. Man. All right, what's happening here? He took. Rook takes e5 is correct. Threatening the knight. Damn. That's really good play by Ding. Really good play. Excellent play. Yeah, now he wants to take with the rook and then take and then take and then resigns. Yep, and now he can double the rooks to go here. You can't play here because rook is hanging, other rook is hanging, mate. Jesus. Although it says you have to do that, then you lose. So bishop g2 and bishop g3 are good, but rook e8 is easily the best. But this is a must-win for Magnus. He has to win this game to tie the match. That seems very unlikely. His opponent plays an engine move every move. It's hard to beat those guys. Yeah. All right, this game is the last game of the match. Ferrugia needs to win. And let's see if Naka can win this position that I think is drawn. Okay, F3, never play F3. This is the game that doesn't end. All right, then he played Rook B6, Rook E5. There's a famous ending in my 60 memorable games. Fischer's playing Reshevsky, I think, and they get this kind of position. Two rooks and two against rook knight and two, and you just can't win. Those pawns were together. These are separated. I'm not sure if that hurts white. Like, these pawns are going to be really weak when the knight E4. It's an interesting move. I guess he wants to take this. All right. I mean, the king might get in the mating net, but now he played check, so the king's walking out. Okay, so Naka played check, G6. I mean, I still think it's a draw, but okay, black's trying to win. And Carlsen resigned after... Oh, so rook E8 was played. Carlsen blundered here. He needs to play rook takes F2, but he blundered mate. He played here. And now after bishop check, his king has to walk in where he has no lift. See, here he has some lift. Yeah, and then bishop takes H1, threatening rook here checkmate. So Magnus resigned here. Let's see. The engine says takes. You can't take this either way because of rook E1 check. So... Also, you have to stop rook E1 check. So you have to play bishop here. And then bishop here wins, bishop here wins, bishop here wins. Because black's up a pawn with the two bishops. And there's these double pawns here. So he didn't have to resign, but I mean, okay, this game's ridiculous. All right, so Ding wins 3-1. In all three games... Magnus didn't get to move 30 that he lost. And after bishop takes H1, he resigned. All right, very bad match for Magnus. He's very lucky to beat Nepomniachtchi. He lost to Giri. Very bad finish for him. Hopefully he'll play better in the knockouts because he's not playing well right now. Truth hurts. Yeah. All right, Ding wins 3-1. Magnus plays 3 silly openings against 0. And he played a pretty reasonable opening and won. So probably should play the opening better. All right, check. Knight G5. 50% black wins, 50% draw. Also, 50% white wins somehow. I'm not sure how. I think because of the scam train, I'm adding everything to 150% now. That's how it's going. Yeah. Yeah. Currently, Magnus is in 4th unless if Caruana or actually no, Caruana had less points than oh no, he didn't. He had the same. That's right. Ding had less. Yeah, if Caruana or Nakamura lose their matches in regulation, which is happening right now, then he'll could be a 3-way tie for second between the people who aren't Ding. Ding's looking good now because Nak and Caruana aren't winning their matches right now. So it's looking good for Ding. Obviously, it doesn't matter, but it's nice when there's a round-robin table and you're number 1. It's nice. After the knockouts, that's more important. But it's a good confidence boost for Giri, beating Magnus pretty easily in the match. Might scare the other players, too. Ding beats Magnus 3-1. Fabi and Naka might not want to see that. So, getting scared over there. Okay, so that match is over. Carlsen Ding is 3-1. This is game 3. This is game 4. They haven't started yet. And I think this is game 3. Am I wrong? Is this game 3? Yeah, Fabiano. Yeah, so the Carlsen match is over. 2 of the games are on game 3 and game 4 hasn't started yet. Very confusing. What's the knockout round? That's where Mama said knock you out. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, wait, I got a text here from Magnus. Magnus said, today I was being sarcastic. Okay. Yeah, Magnus just being sarcastic. Okay. So, knight e4, rook d5, king d3, check them up. This is the game. This is move 80, so this game's going to go 100 moves. Yeah, just kidding. Yeah. Just being sarcastic. Yeah. All right. This game will never end. It'll be 200 moves. Rawr. That's a lot of checks. All right. And Geary has given away most of his advantage, as he's wont to do. Rook e1. Rook takes. F4. Put the knight on e6, I assume. Whoa, knight d4. Geary with the superb tactics. Rook b8, knight e6. c4 is explosive. And the engine says white's slightly better. Black has a passed pawn. White has this d4 square. This pawn's weak. This rook is active. White's bishop is on f1. The bishop is behind all the pawns. So advantages for both sides. Fabiano needs to win. The engine says that's a terrible blunder. He missed rook a8. That's an easy move to miss. Then after rook takes, queen takes, check wins that. He just thought after queen takes he would play bishop here. So rook a8 is now winning for white if Anish sees that. Queen takes is also better for white, but not much. But rook, yeah, he played queen takes. Yeah, he didn't see rook a8. And then after rook takes, he takes this, and he's winning. He just didn't see it. And neither did black. That's a tricky engine move. That move's not gonna, in a slow game they would see it, but not in a rapid game. Yeah, that's pretty tricky. Okay, so he played this instead. Bishop f7. Now he's better after here. e6 is the correct move. That's even better. The problem with taking this and taking this is you lose all your pieces. Check, and then takes this. So he can't do that. So very good for Geary. Geary has good winning chances. If Geary wins, the match is over. Geary wins the match 2.5-1/2. They'll still play the last game. Okay, so Hikaru played in Jim Morrison style. He's going to break on through to the other side. Check. G5 check. God damn. Engine approved. All right, and then he's going to play put it in H. Time for put it in H. Where's my put it in H emote? Yeah. Naka putting it in H. G5 check. H4. Rawr. And the engine says black wins. It approves of this break on through. See, yeah, here, H4 is really good because you can't take it with the king because rook takes. And H4 gains a tempo. Man, getting a tempo is good. And Naka's got the last 2 ranks covered. So here come the judge. Yep, that guy's good. There's good and there's not good. That guy's good. Yep, so Naka should win this because he's going to have 2 rooks for rook against. It's going to be a very funny material situation. 2 rooks against the knight and 2 pawns. I'm going to bet on the 2 rooks. All right, so Naka's winning. This is move 90. Will they get to move 100? The answer is fries. If Naka wins this game and wins the next game, then he wins the round robin. Or does he tie with Geary? Am I wrong? No, Geary had less, right? Yeah. Right? Yeah. So I think if Naka wins this game and wins the next game, he's first in the round robin. Approved by Naka. He approves. 1,400 viewers. MVL's checking him forever. Check forever. Rawr. Uh-oh. I have to wake MVL up because forever ended. Oh, wait, that's September. I don't know. Some terrible song. All right, King F8, and he resigned. Always resign. He could have played Knight G3, but then I double up on the bubble up, and I win all this, and I have true rooks against a rook. So, very nice trick by Naka. G5, and then queen the H-pawn. Very good. All right, terrible technique before that, but good at the end. 93 move win. Naka ties it up. God damn. Magnus's match ended before Naka won game 3. And hopefully they have game 4 up in the Naka match. They do not. All right, well, they'll put it up. All right, what's happening here? This is also game 3. And knight takes e6, bishop takes c4, knight g5, confusing the audience. And Giri plays the only good move, queen d3. Defending the bishop and stopping rook b1 check. Good, good. And white is clearly better. And this is game 4. They haven't started yet. This is game 3. This is game 3 that ended. And Magnus's match already ended. Magnus lost 3-1 to Ding. And we need some more games put up. More games. Rawr. Right now, Ding is in the lead, but Fabiano and Naka could pass him by winning their matches in regulation. All right, what's happening here? Takes, rook e8. All right, so white's up a pawn, although his pawn structure is a bit suspicious. But black's king is a bit suspicious. So I don't know, 50-50. People are like, why isn't this game started? Are they waiting for this game to end? The answer is no. They're not waiting for this game to end. They never do that. Would Giri be the only person to beat Magnus and Fabi? Well, let's see. Ding lost to Fabi, right? So, yeah. Get the Naka game up. But I can't. I can't do it. There is no Naka game. Naka already won this game. This game's over. White resigned. So the next Naka game is going to start in like 5 minutes. So right now, this is the only game where they're actually making moves. One match ended, and the other 2 matches are waiting for game 4 to start. They haven't started yet. And also, they haven't put the Naka PGN up yet, so I can't do it. Get that Naka PGN game up, even though it hasn't started. Rawr. If Giri wins this position, he wins the match. Very suspicious. Pomniachi has started. Well, I don't got any moves. Sorry. I got nothing. I can't help you. I got nothing for you, man. Only Giri fans allowed. Very suspicious. I still need the PGN put up in live chess of the Naka game with the MVL for game 4. They haven't started yet, but I don't have the game. I have this game, which you guys claim started, but I don't have any moves. So there you go. So this is the only game I have moves for. That's all I can give you. I got nothing. Okay. All right, the more you donate, the more Naka wins if you're rooting for him. So there you go. Yeah, after yesterday, I think I'm going to have to spot Rose and a rook. So, all right. Good, good. Nigel Short said when Magnus played h5 on move 3, he probably mouse slipped, meant to play g5. That's pretty funny, actually. Very reasonable joke. All right. All right, everything on my phone is ridiculous. All right, 50-50 Giri wins. Go 50s. Giri's up a pawn. Black's king is somewhat exposed. All the pawns are on the same side. I got no moves for this game. They should have moves. I don't know why there's no moves. In fact, I don't even have this game listed anymore. Now I'm confused. They put the PGN up, then they took it down, didn't put the right PGN up. I don't even have this in live chess anymore. Yeah, so I also... Hey, Karen, and trying to learn, the Firouzja Nepo game isn't in live chess anymore, even though I have it right here. I guess they took it down after they put it up, so they got to put it up again. I need Firouzja Nepomniachtchi in live chess. I clicked on it, and then they took it away, but it's still here, so there's never going to be any moves. So the PGNs for Game 4 are not being put up. So Karen and trying to learn, get on that. Something. Do something. I don't know. All right, so Giri played correctly. Takes, E4. Okay is correct. All right. I can't reopen another one because there is no other one. I can't, if I close this game, there is no other game to reopen. I'll close it anyway because there not going to be any moves. So yeah, they need to put up the Nepomniachtchi Firouzja match and the MVL versus Naka match. Rook E7. Engine doesn't like that move because E5 is coming. Yeah, he might win this game. Giri might win and win the match after 3 games. That's crazy. Karen is on it. I let them know. All right. Yeah, we're missing all the games from the fourth round. We got nothing. They got a monkey working the spotlight. Yeah. Well, let's see how my email's doing. Boring. Yep, all the same email. All right, we need some donations. Karen's going to the store today. It's true. So let's go. I was old. I haven't had this problem before. They won't put Game 4 up. All right, here's Game 4, Hikaru Maxim. They haven't put Game 4 up in Firouzja versus Nepomniachtchi. I think they started like 5 minutes ago. So we're gonna need that put up also. And I can get rid of this. All right. So we need the Nepomniachtchi Firouzja game put up. This is the last game from round 3. Then we're going to have 3 games played in round 4. This is round 4. Firouzja Nepo's round 4. And it hasn't been put up yet. Yeah. And so on. Mainly and so on. Now, these guys can't have a lot of time left. This is Game 3, and all the other matches ended. And Magnus's match ended at Game 4 already. So these guys, 1 minute to 2 minutes. Good. Every move gives White the advantage. White's up a pawn. It's a passed pawn. The king is exposed. You would expect White's winning. Yeah, I'm not going to use the Chess 24 screen anymore. Yeah, they'll just have to wait. All right, here it is. We're on move 170. Nepo played the Dutch again. Now, Nepomniachtchi needs a draw, and he wins the match, and he played the Dutch. Very suspicious kind of opening. We need a draw. All right, this is what Firouzja did in the first game and got crushed. All right, confusing the audience. More game, H4. Man, put it in H. Let me get the put it in H going. Yeah. All right, C6. Very suspicious play by everybody. Knight H3, that move I like. It smells a little bit. All right, now it looks like chess. This looks pretty nice for black. Yeah, this looks good for black. White castling queenside in the Dutch. Don't see that very often. Bishop h3, giving up the two bishops. Trying to get the e5 square. And now e5 exclam, overlooked by Nepomniachtchi. Or underestimated, I should say. Yeah, bishop takes, and takes was terrible. Now after e5, white's already winning. White has the two bishops. White's crushing it in the center. This knight's no good. These knights are no good. Yeah, knight f3. This knight's trapped on h5. Yeah. Yeah, bishop takes h3 was terrible. I mean, what this bishop's a monster. Yeah, the two bishops. What else? So very bad play by Nepomniachtchi. Like, just terrible play. Typical Nepomniachtchi. He needs a draw to win the match, and he plays like a friggin' lunatic. Yeah. Remember Rick and Morty? You're acting like a friggin' lunatic. All right. You know, in the Purge episode. All right. This is still game 3. After e5, he played rook b7, rook a2, typical Giri defensive move. Queen d8, very aggressive for Giri. Rook b1, both sides playing for checkmate. And now he blundered king h3, put it in h. And now if he finds queen e3, it's a draw. He has to find queen e3, threatening both pawns. The queen also stops rook a7 check. Will he find queen e3? He did find queen e3. Queen g5, king g7. And now the game should be a draw. After king h4, yeah, he's got perpetual. Yeah, so Giri did not win the maybe not winning, but huge advantage. Yep, he allowed perpetual check. The game's going to be a draw. Fabiano's still in it. If Fabiano had lost this game, the match is over. Now if Fabiano wins with white the last game, he ties the match. Fabiano's going to be down 2-1. They're going to repeat and draw. Although I guess he could play for a win, but he might lose because he doesn't have any time on his clock. Doesn't Giri have like seconds on his clock? Yeah, this is a draw now. White's king is too exposed. Good counterplay from Fabi. Good, good. All right, so Giri drew. He's happy. Well, not too happy. 10 seconds for Giri. God damn. Giri has 15 minutes. Yeah. Exactly. Yanko 1995 is correct. Okay, Giri's playing for the loss. Rook f2. Trying to lose on time. Obviously, white can never win. White's rook is on f2. That's not, he's not, come on. All right, so Giri might lose if he doesn't have perpetual later because his time is low. Probably a draw, though. Okay, Naka MVL is tied 1.5, 1.5. Whoever wins this game wins the match. Another Trompowski. Put it in H. Every game we see H4, H5. Put it in H. This match is tied at 1.5. All right, and obviously white's better. The engine wants to sack a piece here, take with the queen, and then just push the g-pawn, and says white is crushing it. It really likes white there. Knight takes, pawn takes, queen takes, king g8, g4, g5, and checkmating attack, and these pieces are useless. I wonder if Naka will do that. That's crazy. That's a crazy move. Sacking a piece. All right, this game says Nepomniachtchi is already losing. Yeah, this is terrible for black. Terrible knight, great passed pawn, two bishops. That was me, that wasn't Nepo. So Firouzja is down 2-1, but he has a very strong position. Okay, the engine's claiming that white's winning now, that Fabi blundered. Fabi played queen c5 double question mark, moving his queen away from all these things. It says every rook move is equal. Rook here, rook anywhere. Now after here, because the queen isn't on e3 anymore, white can play rook g2, which he did. threatening rook g6 check and queen h8 mate. Obviously, if the queen was on e3, you can't play rook g2 because everything's hanging with check. So queen c5 was a blunder by Fabi, and now he's losing again. Rook g6 check is the threat, and now rook g5 is forced mate. Rook h5, queen here mate. And he played it, and the game's over. Fabi made a one-move blunder and loses the match, and Geary figured it out. Wow, that's crazy. Rook h5 check, unstoppable mate. Queen g5 mate. And he resigned. Wow, so the match is over. Geary won. So in this position, queen c5 is terrible because it takes the queen away from all these things. Queen takes f3 check, and that let him play rook g2. Fabi underestimated rook g2 because he probably didn't see rook g6, queen here mate. And now he's losing because we play rook here. Now, what he should have done is played rook b7, which also stops the mate because he has rook h7. Then if you try to play the same mate, I have queen e7, and the rook defends the queen. He's still losing, but yeah. And the reason he's losing is because after rook g5, I play rook takes f5. And I win the endgame. Yeah. So queen c5 was like triple question mark move in this position. Basically, white has no threat. If white checks, he can't play rook g2 because the queen at f3 check. Moving his queen off of e3 was a blunder. Now white's winning after rook g2. Threatening rook g6 and mate. He stopped the mate, and now he's threatening rook here and here mate, or here, and there's no defense. Resigns. So Geary's won his match. The fourth game doesn't matter. Fabiano can no longer come in first. He's going to come in tied with Magnus for third or fourth or second or something. And if Hikaru loses his game, Ding gets clear first in the round robin, which doesn't really matter, I guess. All right, what does it say? Oh. Lots of confusing texts. Oh, I know what you mean now, Karen. That is correct. What Karen said. Right. All right, so what happened here? Okay, so Naka didn't play this sacrifice the engine likes. The engine says white should be close to winning after that sacrifice, and then just push this pawn. That's more of an engine sacrifice. All right, instead he's playing to trade everything, because they're super GMs, they trade everything. And the engine says this is a blunder. It's a very simple tactical blunder. This is a ridiculous move B takes. Knight takes is equal. So if this was a puzzle rush tactics trainer problem, Naka would solve it in 1 second. The game's over after this, and wins the match, and black resigns. And both players missed it. See, when it's tactics trainer and puzzle rush and all that nonsense, you're looking for a winning tactic. When you're playing a 2700, you're not. Okay, obviously you have to take the bishop, otherwise you just lose all your pawns. Okay, and then rook check, forking this. If you play king h7, I take this, I'm up a pawn, the knight is pinned. If you go here, I play knight g6 check and take this and take this. I mean, he might have resigned after bishop f7. The MVL might have resigned here. Yeah, BC is the worst move ever, and both players just missed bishop f7. All right, so he played rook c1, making sure he couldn't play this winning tactic. And now it's equal. Naka's not going to be happy to find out he missed a one-move win. Then he would have won the match and been first place in the round robin. Would have been clear first. Frankly, terrible. All right, the truth hurts. Tactics are a lot easier when you're doing puzzle rush and it tells you there's a tactic than when you're playing an actual game. Okay, so Naka still has a slight advantage because of his better pawn structure. Let's see if he's maintained his advantage. Knight c5, rook c2, stopping rook d2, rook d2 anyway. All right, and the engine says black's close to equal. Pretty boring position. 2 isolated pawns, 2 bishops, what else? All right, some guy in the chat says, Nakamura missed it, even I saw it. You didn't see anything. All right, and then this is the last game of this match, and Fabiano already lost. Geary's up 2.5 half. Frankly, ridiculous. So if Nakamura loses his game this round, then Ding is clear first. If Nakamura draws the game and then wins the Armageddon, I think he ties with Ding. I don't know. I'm getting confused. All right. I don't know how many points anybody has. Luckily, it doesn't matter. It only matters for the pairings next round. All right. White's slightly better because these pawns suck. But this is a good rook. 2 bishops. Naka's going to try to kick the rook out with king e1. And Firouzja was completely winning, and he still is. This is the last position we saw, was bishop g4. Knight takes e5, which is a terrible move. Everything wins. Rook de1 wins pretty easily. Taking this wins. And yeah, this is completely winning for white. Yeah. The king is too exposed. We're open on this diagonal. This file, I mean. We're open on this file. And you're just completely lost here. The black king is too exposed. The engine says +3, +4. So when Ali Reza wraps this up, he's going to be tied at 2, and they have an Armageddon game between Ali Reza and Nepomniachtchi. That looks very likely. If this game is a draw, which seems possible, then we're going to have an Armageddon game here as well. Okay, after king e1, he sacked the exchange. Always sack the exchange. Recommended by the engine. And the idea is, I'm going to take this knight and play bishop here, check, and so forth. So you got to be careful here. I mean, knight f3 is going to be mate, so he has to block the bishop with the rook. He could actually take all 3 ways, and the engine says they're all about equal. Obviously, Naka didn't see this move. He's thinking forever. Now he's mad he didn't see it. With the white squared bishop gone, if I take this and check, that's good counterplay. Still better for white, because black has the 2 isolated pawns. But, you know, good tactic, good tactic. Okay, now in this position, if he takes this, which he did not do, knight takes, bishop takes, rook g1 check. If your king goes to the f file, queen f5 wins a piece. If the king goes to the h file, queen e2 wins a piece. This bishop's pinned. So the game's over. So instead of doing that, he played knight takes f3, and white's up in exchange and better. Every move wins. Queen e4, queen e2, not moving wins. King is exposed, double pawns. Terrible play by Nepomniachtchi. In a must-draw game, he played like a lunatic, and now he's lost. Frankly, terrible. So Nakamura is better. Firouzja's completely winning, and we'll go to an Armageddon. And this game has yet to start, but this game doesn't matter for the match. Anish Giri's up 2.5. He's already won the match. All right, so he took with the rook, which is correct. That's the engine move. Takes. Knight f3 check. Bishop a6. King g2 is the engine move. He has to take this. I take back. And white's better because white has a better pawn structure. These are 2 isolated pawns, and white doesn't have any. And the players played the correct line. Bishop takes, knight e1 check. Knight f3 is good. And black has good counterplay for sacrificing a pawn or 2. He's got a very active rook at knight. So good drawing chances. Good. If the game is a draw, they go to Armageddon. If either player wins, they win the match. This match hasn't started yet, I think. Unless it has and we don't have the moves. Also possible. And Firouzja's getting the wrap it up button going. To wrap up that gavel. All right. And every move wins. The easiest is queen e8 check, and queen takes h5. After that, he might resign. Maybe. He's just checking to see if black has a perpetual, but he does not. There's no perpetual. There's no fortress. Rawr. He played the correct move. Good game by Ali Reza the last 15 moves or so of the game. Very succinct. He has to play queen c3 and play for a perpetual. Knight g6 is the engine move. That's just resigning. You have to play queen c3. You can't play knight g6. You just lose. Queen c3, you might get a perpetual. You don't, but you might. It's funny, after queen c3, the engine just takes this. Queen c2, king here, and just walks over here. As in my game with Esserman. Not sure when I played Esserman. 2014-ish? 13 in St. Louis? Where I won by moving my king over. I only played him once. Queen e2 is the super GM way to win. You stop all the checks. That's the professional way to win. Queen e2. Queen takes h4 is the engine way. This game hasn't started. How's Nakapuki doing? How's life in Nakapuki? Knight g1. Playing for the smallest of advantages. Engine likes knight g1. The engine does not like these two isolated pawns. Yeah, this wasn't the best day ever for Carlsen. He's being a very nice host. Very nice. Yeah. Confident 1/3 of those rules. Good. Did they make any moves yet? They did. Caruana played c4. It's explosive. All right. This is the game that doesn't matter. Giri's already won the match. And he played the engine way. Go Ali Reza. Ali Reza took that knight. He's like, whatever. I move my king myself. Yeah. Yeah, he's going to move his king over here and be up a rook. That is correct. Yeah, being up a rook is good when the king is here. Then you crush that king. As soon as black doesn't play check anymore, the game is over. Every legal move wins. No, terrible. Yeah, the king runs to safety, and then white's up a rook. Very good play by Firouzja. All right, knight d3 mate, as played in Bughouse. MVL's thinking forever. Play king d2. King is running away, and white's up a rook. The truth hurts. Every move wins. The engine likes king d3 more than other moves. It escapes quicker? I don't know. Firouzja well on his way to winning. And they traded knights. Knight g1 takes, rook d6. All right, Naka has a big advantage because of these bad pawns. Gonna move his king up the board. MVL says no. And the rooks are stopping the kings. Excellent position for white. Good winning chances. If the game ends in a draw, there's Armageddon. If Naka wins, he wins the match. After losing the first game. All right, still playing like an engine. Ali Reza plays king d3, king e4. Good. It preferred king d4. Not sure why. I like king e4. As soon as we get the first position where black doesn't play check, then he's in trouble. He's got to check every move and then some. One of the engine lines is he takes this, later white takes this, black trades queens, and starts pushing his 3 passed pawns. That seems completely losing to me. That's not going to work. All right, very suspicious play by both sides. This is the important game right now. All right, so what did he do? Here, b4, and then he changed his mind and played king e7, a rook e7. That makes more sense. So basically what MVL is saying, that white's all talking a badge, just move his rook back and forth and draw. I don't think so. You got rook a6 and b5, king's walking up. Very bad position for MVL. Very bad. And some moves were played. All that stuff that I said would happen, that's what happened. He took this pawn, he traded queens, and he's hoping his 3 passed pawns will be sufficient counterplay. And I asked Consuela if black can draw this position. And she said, no, no. All right, the engine says white's plus 17. Yeah, this is bad that I can probably just win with my F pawn. I probably don't even care about these pawns. Yeah, this is no hope. All right, everything wins. Moving the king wins. Rook B1 wins. Rook A1 wins. Every move wins. The pawns aren't dangerous yet. If the pawns were here, that would be something. But the pawns aren't dangerous. This pawn's dangerous if the king starts helping out. Rook A1's an excellent move. And he just played B5. It doesn't matter what he does. You can't defend the pawns. If you play B6, you can't defend your pawns. All right. And this is just hopeless. Everything wins. The rook is on fire. Let's see how this last game of the match is being played, even though the result doesn't matter much. Bishop C8, always retreat. Good. Okay, this seems nice for black. He's got a nice C5 square for his knight. Okay. And Nepomniachtchi resigned. He played C5, rook here, and he resigned. All right. Good resignation. Good job. All right, so Firouzja tied the matchup. Firouzja won game one. Firouzja lost the next two games, won the last game. Armageddon. That means trying to learn, and Kieran got to tell in Slack, get the Armageddon game up with Firouzja and Nepo. Now you guys have jobs to do. Kieran and trying to learn. Tell them to put the Armageddon game up for this match. Firouzja Nepomniachtchi. Armageddon. We need the moves. Go, Kieran, and trying to learn. We need those games. This game's going to Armageddon to decide who gets 5th, 6th, 7th. Trying to learn and Kieran, do it. We need this game. No. Armageddon. Okay. All right. Armageddon has been requested, I hope. Peter Dochers is on top of it. Chotten, Totten, Tententen, Dochers. All right. All right. It says Wuhan, China's nothing to mess with. Man. All right. So Firouzja tied it up. 4 decisive games this match. Good, good. Naka has the smallest of advantages. Trying to, weasel his way into another win. No, never play F6. Naka squeezing and squeezing and squeezing. Can he squeeze MVL and win the match before Armageddon? Squeezing and squeezing and squeezing. Weak pawns everywhere. That's the problem with F6, is now after B5, the whole 6th rank is hanging. When the pawn was here, that was a lot safer. I'm not a fan of F6. Not in a general way like I always am, but in this position. Because now your pawns are all hanging. So that was a very bad move. The pawn here, everything's safe. Very, very poor move. Like leaving all his pawns hanging. Terrible. All right. He played knight takes D3, shocking me. Getting the 2 bishops, what else? It's the retreating, good, good. Always retreat. Always retreat, good. Always retreat. Great play by both sides. I don't like this move, knight take, because the knight was so good on C5. I thought his knight would go, the other knight would go to C5, but he played bishop D7. So maybe he'll move his bishop later and put his knight there. He put his rook there. All right, the engine likes white now. It doesn't like the way black's playing with rook C5. F4, putting pressure here. Knight GE4 is good, making this move look silly. Yeah, rook C5 is a very bad move from Giri. Giri already won the match, he doesn't care. Okay, Nakapuki. Looks good for Naka. No, Naka played F3, never play F3. Naka wants to move his king, but doesn't want to allow king E4. That's why he played F3. No, never play F3. Both sides are trolling me playing F6 and F3. They didn't put the game up yet. They're probably choosing color or something. Is it time for another train yet? Or like a $99 donation, something. Something. I haven't heard any noises lately. Roar, I'm mad. Etc. Man, the guys are just trolling me. F3, F6. Terrible. Ali Reza wins the coin toss. I assume he chose black, but I don't know. In this tournament, who knows? Man, Naka likes playing those 90-move games. Every Naka game, 90 moves. Go Ben. This match is tied. This is game 4. Whoever wins this game wins the match. Carlsen lost 3-1. Firouzja just won and tied the match at 2. They're playing Armageddon. And Caruana lost his match, 2.5-half. They're playing the meaningless game 4. And this is it. Caruana's rolling up Giri because Giri doubled rooks and gave up his great knight. And correctly, Caruana played F4. Now he's got this monster attack. And he's got the space advantage here. Already winning for white. Caruana making the score reasonable if he wins. Got to make that score reasonable. Ali Reza chose black. Got to get that Ali Reza game up there. Go Ali Reza. It's Armageddon, and if this rook and punting is a draw, this will go to Armageddon. 50-50, Naka wins or it's a draw. 50-50. And Caruana's already lost his match, and Magnus Carlsen already lost his match. It's tough being top 2 in the world. Get crushed. All right, the engine says Caruana's +4 by just playing knight GE4 and totally crashing through against Giri's king here. It says black's completely lost. Truth hurts. Knight here, rawr, crushing him. Rook C5, terrible, since the knight attacks it. Yeah, very bad game by Giri. Giri was doing fine. And then he played knight takes D3 I didn't like, bishop G4 to D7, rook C5, lost the thread of the game. He already won the match, so I guess he stopped caring. If only iced tea was his coach, or water tea. Either way. Firouzja game's not up yet. All right, they traded, which is surprising. The Naka played E4. Wow, that really surprises me. All right, guess he couldn't find a way to win. So, well, this looks like a draw now. I don't think White's winning anymore. So this game's probably going to go to Armageddon. This match. Okay, Fabiano won after knight E4. Giri resigned. Yeah, the engine says he's just dead lost. So, yeah, he's just getting crushed here. For example, let's save our rook, for example. And then resigns. Yeah, it's just totally dead. Okay, so after knight E4, Giri resigned. And Giri won the match 2.5, 1.5. He already won the match before this game, so he didn't play his heart out, I guess. All right, slightly less embarrassing for Caruana. All right, so E4 I don't like. This looks like black's going to draw now. Yeah, this is definitely a draw. And this is going to go to Armageddon. G5, good. Yep. It's the Armageddon match. Another Armageddon. Very good defense by MVL. G5 check. Rawr. No pawns left for you. All the pawns disappear. When you're on the worst side of the rook ending, you try to trade all the pawns off and draw. All right. So there's no Armageddon yet. Darn. Okay. And then let me tell him. All right, go everybody. G5 check. Good, good. Trading all the pawns off. Always a good idea. Also forcing the white king over here. Boo. Nah, I messed up. I did something wrong. Okay, fixed. All right, so we're going to have 2 Armageddon games. Let's see, is Ding winning the tournament now? I don't know. I'm getting confused. All right, Naka didn't want to trade all the pawns off because then he wouldn't win. So he played King F5, keep some pawns on the board. Okay, it doesn't work, but he tried. Trying is the first step to failure. But Naka needs to win. Okay, check. Only legal move. Takes. All right, hold on. GH4. Check. King C6. And it's going to be a draw. 2 pawns each. All the pawns are passed. Completely equal. If Naka wins Armageddon, he wins by half a point. You can't win by half a point. What? There's only points. What? Oh, you mean he wins by half a point in the tiebreaks for the game points? That's possible. Possible. All right, we need that Armageddon games. Put those Armageddon games up. Even in this match, when this match isn't even over. Tiebreaks. Pancakes. All right, the more you donate, the more your favorite player will win. You got to donate in French francs if you want MVL to win. You know, go back in time 30 years and then do it. All right, it's the Armageddon game. Ali Reza won the toss and decided to take black. It's Ali Reza Nepomniachtchi Armageddon. Also doesn't matter very much. And he played A4. Good, good. H3 draws, Rook F3 draws, Rook G2 draws. Every move draws. All moves draw. And then when this game is over, they're going to play Armageddon. God damn. It's an Armageddon off. Mm-hmm. All right, what did he do? He played a move that the engine doesn't like. Rook F3 check is okay. Now it says queening the pawn is good, but he played rook here, still a draw. Tracheotomy subscribed. Also, here's a tracheotomy. There you go. All right. White has the slightest of advantages, 1 pawn each. But this pawn is easier to queen than this one. The engine says rook e4 is a draw, otherwise black loses. Every other move loses. Where's the table base when you need it? Yeah, rook f4 check, rook a4. That wasn't good. He's got to play rook e4 for Armageddon. He might not play rook e4. There's like 20 legal moves. He might not play rook e4. Man, the truth hurts. The idea with rook e4 is when the king moves away from the pawn, I can push and you can't take it. And then my pawn gets one further square, so I get closer to a draw. Man, one move that draws. God damn. All right, the Armageddon has started. Nepomniachtchi has 5 minutes. Ali Reza has 4 minutes. And black has draw odds. If Ali Reza draws, he wins 2-1. He wins the match. Okay, they keep doing the same thing over and over again. Good. They've already done this like 50 times. Aha! Before it was queen a5, bishop takes d7 check. Ali Reza played a3. Okay, still good for white. Yeah. All right, black needs to draw to win the match. He played the only drawing move, rook e4. Go MVL. MVL finds the draw. Now if Naka moves his king up, we can play h3 and he can't take it because I'll take this. Then we get our pawn closer to queening. Rook e4 defending his pawn, stopping this pawn. Good, good. We want to see more Armageddon. Ali Reza has draw odds this game. If he draws the game, he wins the match. White is in a must-win situation. Okay, and MVL had it figured out perfectly. King e7, h3, putting it in h. Now takes is obviously a draw. And after e6, we play rook e3. Pawn's on the 6th rank. That's good. And the engine says all zeros. Obviously, white's better, but he found the drawing line. All right, bishop takes c6, bc. Will he play b4? Will he play f4? Will he move his rook to a reasonable square? The answer is fries. Queen g4, rawr. Nice position for white, especially in a must-win game. Very double-edged, complicated. All right. So e6, rook e3, rook h6. It says every move draws. That's one of them. And pawn on the 6th rank is pretty good. Pretty good. Queen g4. Oh, he played b4 first. Bishop takes, bishop takes. Black wants to trade queens. White says no, no. And the engine doesn't like b4 because it gives black a chance to attack the pawn chain. And it says black is doing great now with c5, messing up white's pawn structure. He played h5, putting it in h. And then c5, also good. Knight e2. Both players playing very quickly. This isn't 15 minutes anymore. This is 5 minutes to 4. All right, the engine likes black. Once again, Nepomniachtchi has this terrible bishop. And black has a nice pawn here. Black has a nice knight. Black has draw odds. Nepomniachtchi is not pushing his pawn. He's making a lot of knight maneuvers. Black can take this pawn if he wants because of the pin, but instead he activates his rook. f4. All three results are possible. The engine's not a fan of queen c4 or rook b8, so it says white has the advantage again. But okay, it's 5 minutes to 4, so all right. Anything can happen, but it looks good with this king on e8. White had nothing 4 moves ago. Now white's attacking all of a sudden. Knife f5, you call that a knife? f5, that is correct. Knife f5, that is also correct. Knight e6, that is correct. Rook a f1, very good play. Rook b7, it says white should take this pawn. Seems like a reasonable move. And again, white's giving draw odds. If the game is a draw, black wins. This game is equal. We saw king c7. King d6 is correct. King d7 is correct. And the game is over. All right. And they're playing on rook versus rook for some reason. Doesn't say draw yet. All right. Let's get that Armageddon game up in this match. All right. And they played the king versus king. Very good. All right. So MVL very lucky to draw that game. Naka had excellent winning chances like the last 50 moves of that game. God damn. So Naka's match with MVL goes to Armageddon. And this game is already in Armageddon. Trying to learn. Make sure that Armageddon game comes up in the Naka versus MVL match. Probably that'll start after this one finishes. This one's already been going on for like 7 minutes. Rook h5 is correct. Rook h5 is correct. Knight takes d4 is correct. Queen h8 is correct. King e7 is correct. Every move is correct. Very good play by both sides. The engine likes white, not winning, just much better, and he's giving draw odds. All right, so after king e8, he took on d4. Rook b4 is the best move. Queen h8 check. King e7. Both players have no time. Queen g7. Now it's a draw with correct play. Queen f2. Queen f4 and queen f2 are similar. Queen f4 likes a little bit better because it defends g5, I guess. Queen f2 is more cool. Queen g5. And if black draws this game, he wins the match. And the engine says this should be a draw. But with, a blunder, losing the game immediately. King d7 was forced. Queen c1. That is correct. Defending the rook, threatening this, and now threatening to come in here and win. That's why he had to play king d7. Now queen c1 is winning. The black king is too exposed. If he had played king d7, queen c1 would have been a draw with best play. Now he's winning. Yeah, because you can't stop the queen from coming in. The only bad move of the game was king e6. You need to play king d7. Yeah, now the checkmate is coming. Both moves win immediately, queen c8 and queen c6. You can't take the pawn because queen e8 wins your queen. So the game is over. Yeah, it's over. You can't take queen e8 check wins the... Well, he did take, okay. Well, ridiculous. Okay, so Nepomniachtchi wins the must-win game and wins the match. The game is over. We're awaiting the coin toss and the final game of the round between Naka and MVL. They also play in Armageddon. Firouzja played great until he didn't. Yeah, he missed queen c1. In this position, king d7 should still draw because after queen c1, he's not threatening anything. But he missed queen c1, I guess. Pretty good move. Pretty good move. Defending the rook, threatening the queen, and attacking the black king. And there's no defense. All right. Great win by Nepo. We still have an Armageddon game left between Naka and MVL. They're choosing for color, I guess. Does somebody know if the coin tosses happen and what's going on? Something. If MVL loses Armageddon, he's clear last. Oh, yeah, because Giri won today and got 3 points. And maybe, yeah. MVL won toss and chose white. God damn. MVL, Naka, Armageddon. Man, really exciting matches today. I mean, great. I mean, really interesting chess. Lots of blunders. Lots of checkmating attacks. King's Gambit. Black's king is moving up the board every game. This match had 5 decisive games. Nepomniachtchi, Firouzja, no draws. That's the first match that happened, I think. Even the Armageddon wasn't drawn. No draws. God damn. All right, we need the Armageddon game put up. I'm getting worried, so I'm going to turn on the other one. And, if they start playing moves, I'll move them on my own board. Getting worried over here. Got to get worried. Let's see. So many matches. They don't have anything up yet for the MVL Nakamura, even on the official site. All right. Everybody's banned. Not there yet. Okay, so MVL is going to have white against Naka. And Naka gets draw odds. MVL gets 5 minutes. Naka gets 4. They haven't started yet. You're all banned. $1,200 viewers adieu. No donations. Boo. Boo, you guys. Another train. So Nepomniachtchi wins his match. Giri wins his match. Ding wins his match. And Nakamura MVL is going to Armageddon. Karen's scores are correct. Very good scores, Karen. That is right. Mubot has the right scores, Karen has the right scores, etc. Mainly, etc. My prep for Rosen, wake up early, take a nap, take another nap, and then go play. Lots of naps. They have started. No, I need the game. I don't have anything. I got nothing. There it is. I got it. All right. MVL versus Naka. MVL's giving draw odds. They transposed into the normal Italian game. All right, and here we go. White is tiny little better. Very little better. Man, Naka's always playing this C5 move. I never like it. It's a good thing he's better than me. I guess he's just stopping D4. Man, play D4 anyway. Oh, no, I like C5. Never mind. If White's going to play D4 anyway. All right, she's just stopping D4 and plays it anyway. Knife F5. MVL won the coin toss and chose White. And then played Knife F5. MVL wants that extra minute. Don't forget to buy merch and donate and sub and cheer and, send me a picture of your credit card and go to the store and pay for Kieran's groceries. Do all that stuff. Come on, you're not doing nothing. You're sitting home doing nothing. Come on. All right, MVL playing super fast. D5, god damn. Confusing the audience. D5 is actually a very good move. Excellent. Everybody takes everything. Nakamura knows if he trades all the pieces off, he'll win the match. Yeah, I like D5. That was pretty cool. Naka play E5, C5, D5, A5. Undermining the knight. Now MVL has the two bishops. What else? Takes, bishop D4, knife F4. It's the two bishops versus the two knights. Very, very Nakamura-esque. Bishop E3, the engine move, kicking the knight out. Bishop B3, attacking the D-pawn. All right, so White's better. White has the two bishops. This pawn's isolated and weak. This knight's excellent. This knight's pretty good. White's better. 200 centidues. Go Karen's groceries. Nakamura sacrifices a pawn, trying to draw the ending down a pawn. Okay, let's go back because they played too fast. Knight takes, queen takes, bishop e4. The engine does not approve of Naka's play. It likes being up a pawn. It says White's up a pawn. Excellent winning chances for White. Knight to d2, not the engine move, but good enough. Knight d2, bishop d5, queen d3. White's up a pawn, opposite color bishops. The knight is excellent blocking the pawn. Really good for an Armageddon game where White has to win. White's better, but Black might draw. Okay, MVL trades queens, plays knight c4. The knight has all these good squares. Naka plays a4. Rook d1. White's just up a pawn. He's up a pawn. It's two brothers. He's up a pawn. Rook d5. Very suspicious move. The engine likes f4. f4 seems like an MVL kind of move. Yep, f4. Very MVL-esque. Advancing his majority. Naka doubled up on the bubble up. Knight d6. That is correct. And this is more likely MVL wins than it's a draw. I mean, this is really good position for White. No, f6. Boo, boo. Never play f6. Terrible. Yeah, the engine wants to take the rook, attack the bishop, and then play f5 e6, which he did not do. He started doing it, and now he played bishop b6. The engine says that's double question mark, and after rook here, it's completely equal. It hates that move. It hates it. It says, frankly, that move's terrible. That move hangs this pawn's hanging. Bishop b6 is a really bad blunder. What he should have done was rook d1, bishop takes a2, f5, e6, with a probably winning advantage. Probably winning. And instead he hung his f-pawn. And now it's a draw. No. Okay, so here's what he did wrong. The bishop on e3 is defending the f4 pawn, and he played bishop here. Now this pawn's hanging, this pawn's hanging. A terrible move from MVL. Then he went back and defended his f pawn. It's a really bad move, bishop b6. Yeah, and now it's equal pawns. Now the game's just a draw because this pawn's blockaded. So bishop b6, bishop e3 really threw away his advantage. Very, very bad play. Now he's just losing. Yeah, he's letting Naka just win. All right, and he did lose. Knife f5. Whoa! Rook d8 check, and he didn't take the rook? What? Rook d8 check? What's going on? He didn't take the rook, and then he took the rook. Yeah, that's a good ending to the game. Okay, so Naka wins the match in very suspicious fashion at the end. MVL outplays Naka, gets a likely winning position, then hangs all of his pawns and his rook. Excellent play, but not too good. Okay, so did Naka and Ding tie for first, and Naka wins on tie breaks, or I made that up? Probably I made that up. Yeah, I think Naka and Ding both got 13, right? Did Naka and Ding both get 13? That's correct. And then and then Karawan and Carlsen both got 11. They got 15? Really? What? 15? All right. Oh, so Ding and Nakamura have 15. And then Caruana and Carlsen have 13. Okay, somebody agreed with that. And then, are you saying that Naka has the better tie breaks or the worst tie breaks with Ding? Somebody's saying Naka plays Magnus. That would indicate Naka won on tie breaks and Magnus got fourth on tie breaks. Or that Ding won on tie breaks and Magnus got third on tie breaks. Nobody knows. Nakamura first, Ding second. Now you're saying Naka's playing Fabi. Naka wins. Okay, so that means Naka was first on tie breaks and Carlsen had better tie breaks than Caruana, based on what you guys are saying. So Ding versus Magnus and the Americans play. Yeah, cool. And then it'll be at 10 a.m. tomorrow, although I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they're playing both matches at once or they play one match tomorrow and the next match the next day. I don't understand what's going on. You guys have to tell me what's going on because I don't know. All right, so really exciting today. Fabi and Magnus losing their matches and Nepomniachtchi and Naka winning in Armageddon. And Nepomniachtchi's match, if I'm not mistaken, which I am, that was the only match of the event with all decisive games. All 4 games were decisive, and the Armageddon game was decisive. It wasn't a draw. 10 a.m., what time zone? There's only one time zone. Only Eastern. Other time zones are, frankly, ridiculous. Frankly. 5 decisive games in Nepomniachtchi's match with Firouzja. God damn. Now, I'm not sure what's going on tomorrow, if we're only going to see one match or both matches. The format's confusing to me. But it starts at 10 a.m. Eastern. Yeah. All right, thanks for donating and subbing and cheering. You still have a few seconds to do it before I log off. I got to figure out who to raid. I think I'm going to raid chess because I want to see that IM versus GM. You know what I mean? You guys know what I mean. IM versus GM. Bartholomew versus Trent. God damn. Got to see that. I raid you. You raid me. You're the worst players in